take us out.
Take her out.
All right. Every Friday night, join the fun and let's go off-world. Geek out with us live, where the nerdiness will thrive. Buckle up and let's go off-world. Toys, comics, pop culture news, movies, and so much more. Matthew, Jesse, Curtis, and Sean are your guides on this fun-filled tour. Blast off! Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go off-world tonight.
Welcome to OffWorld, everybody. And just, you know, that intro, it just gets me, man. I have to sing it all through the week. And Jeremy did an awesome job. Dude,
Yes,
good job putting
absolutely.
the clips together. But welcome to OffWorld. I'm Curtis. With me is Sean. How you doing today, Sean?
I mean, heck, we just had the All-Star 6-wave reveal. You could say for a lot of Legions fans, you're walking on air right now, especially if you're a Dwarf fan. This is like your year. This is huge.
It was pretty impressive. So I know we've got some special guests that we're going to bring on. There's a lot of people already in the chat. So let's get right to it. Coming to us as the official photographer of Four Horsemen Studios, we've got Trevor Williams. How's it going, Trevor?
Good, man. It's going good. How about that wave?
It's pretty awesome.
Damn.
Pretty awesome.
It was hard to sit on that one, man. It was hard to sit on that one. There was so many cool things.
You did a good job of keeping secrets.
Yep.
Also with us to start the show, we've got excellent painter extraordinaire, David Williams. David,
Hey,
how you
guys.
doing?
How's it going?
It's going excellent.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
for having me.
We'll probably have a few other people joining us throughout. I know, I think Jeremy's going to pop in. Jesse should be here later. A lot of folks in the chat. So just kind of give a quick rundown of everybody I see in comments already. I got Sir Thygar, Kevin Dufresne, Joe Gonzalez, Eric Johansson, Thanos Copter, Sin Est, Derek Simmons, J Mac 77, Scott Baker, Matthew Scott, Stephanie Orkin, and JG, Billy Beige Customs in the house, New York Figure Fanatic, Anthony Houseel, he must be really excited tonight, Alec McLaughlin, Nate Strong, and Kevin Boots. So if I missed anybody, sorry. We've got quite a few people in the chat, but initial thoughts. We'll get into the individual figures and stuff, but what are you guys thinking after that reveal? We'll start with you, David.
I thought it was awesome. It was like every reveal, it was nothing like I thought it was going to be. You know, based on everybody's predictions, you expected so many particular things and only got, a completely different, completely incredible set of figures,
Yeah, they never cease to amaze, right?
Yeah, I think that Eric really, his thought process is far different than the average person.
Yep.
Or creative person or podcaster or Cabal member.
Yeah.
The dude's he's just a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor, you've had to keep this stuff a secret for a short time at least. How tough is that, seeing this all this goodness and not having to being able to talk about it?
Well, it actually has been weeks, but I just finished it up, but so I'm too busy to even think about it. But yeah, I mean, we're doing shows and stuff, you know what I mean? I'm doing other people's shows and Legion's Lounge. and everybody wants to speculate, and I'm in the chats of all these shows watching people speculate, and I'm just like biting my tongue. I mean, some people hitting it on the nose, or like people going like crazy, like skeletal dragon or whatever. And I'm like, oh, come on, man, reel it in, because like I don't like to be like, oh my god, it could be like, and it's like, well, no, there's cool stuff, man, but it's not like it's not what you're thinking. It's just a different cool thing that you're not thinking of. So it's fun to see everybody who even like got crazy speculating go, oh my god, I never expected that. So it's cool. It's fun. It's like watching your kids open their Christmas presents.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sean, what are your initial thoughts?
First off, I'm happy about Sir Ignatius, because that was one of the last older figures I was hoping for. So the fact that he won yesterday, just that got me all smiles to begin with. I'd say, like, I'm not a big Knights fan and Templars. That's definitely more Curtis's thing than mine. I always love my barbarians mostly and gladiator guys and stuff. But this wave had something for everybody, no matter which way you look at it, which is great. And those last two reveals in particular were the ones where I'm like, I'm in love. Like these are speaking to me on every level of why I love Mythic Legions. So
I kind of was hoping for something around like 8 figures, like maybe like a $350 price range and stuff. And I tell you what, that all-in price is really good. $495 for all that.
Oh yeah.
11 figures, man. Somebody was pointing out. I was kind of watching another. Josh Pence is doing a live rebroadcast of it. He was watching it and he's talking about it while it's on, and everybody in that chat was just like, I can't. This. He's like, this is $7 more than like your typical Marvel Legend now, man.
Yeah.
Like, and look at everything you're getting for $7 more. He's like, they just came out with a Spider-Man 3-pack for $60, or was it $90? What the hell is that? $90.
Yeah.
And he's like, you get a horse with all that soft good stuff, and you get a knight with all those hands and like the flag and like for $90. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not to crap all over Marvel Legends, but man, it's amazing that they're keeping.
No, the amount of value is definitely there. So let's go ahead and get right. Let's get right into it. And I'm just going to go alphabetically. And the first thing up is, for me, the most important thing, and that's the belts pack. Like, dude,
I knew people were going to lose their minds over this, man. I knew it.
I've been asking for a belts pack since we started getting these new belts.
I know.
And like, it's like, I just want to retrofit all of my old Legions that have just the simple straps with these things.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that you're getting these for $12 and they've got like, the details painted on it. It's not like they're just a flat color, I mean, you're getting all the little rivets and everything else.
All different too. You know what I mean? Like each one different, a different paint scheme.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. All kinds of different kinds of styles of belts. You got the black pack, and then there's a brown one as well. I'm definitely going to have to load up on these.
This is going to be a huge seller.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is one I'll add. I'm just going to add a couple to my cart every week.
Yeah. As soon as you think you have enough, add like a couple more, because you can't get enough of this stuff. I saw Joe Gonzalez said that it was a tribute pack to me, and I'm sure that's just because I've been asking for it on every show for the last like year and a half.
I was when they showed this, I actually was like, okay, does Curtis have tears in his eyes? Is he smiling, or is he maybe having an O face, or all three at the same time? I don't know, but I'm sure he's loving this right now. That's all I knew. So,
I think I just shouted like hell yeah, and my wife was upstairs and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, they did the belts back. So
yeah.
I think that was the most surprising out of all of them. It was one of those requests that I think that we all wanted, but it just didn't seem reasonable or feasible for them to just do a bunch of plastic belts.
But I thought we might get it at some point, but I thought it was going to be in like a November, kind of the the big G-Con type of wave. I didn't expect it now. So
Yeah.
I was definitely taken by surprise.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
hand
re-
packs
it's
and
so
stuff
cool.
we were all taken by surprise by, but
Yeah.
then like,
Yeah.
you know, like I think they should call this the ACK pack, right? Like, that's what it
There
should
you
be.
go. I would be perfectly fine having these be a tribute to me. Just I don't care. As long as I get belts back, you can make it a
Your
tribute to anybody.
figure is belts.
Yeah, you can make it a tribute to whoever as long as I get them. But I just like I want to buy enough of these to retrofit every old Legion. So
Yeah.
No,
I
absolutely.
think that's what a lot of people are going to be doing for sure, man.
Yep.
yeah, okay. I'd love to go on all day about belts, but I'm sure that would make for a boring show. So the next one in alphabetical order is this big guy, Baradoc. I think maybe I'm saying that right.
Yep.
And one of the six children of Necronominus, and man, this guy is a beast.
Beluilith's
guys,
twin,
awesome.
which
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't read the bio. Sometimes I don't get the bios for these. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. But I didn't know that. And how cool is that?
Yeah.
This thing is so cool.
Yeah, he looks like the classic Black Knight, you know, just monster of a character. Like just pure evil. Like I love this character so much.
Mm-hmm.
He's the, you know, he's the, you know, the Sauron, like, you know what I mean? He just takes that sword and he just swings it and like 50 people just blow away.
Right.
You know, it's sick, man. It's going to be,
Yeah.
Greg's going to have a tough time beating this guy, man.
And I mean, I
chest
see some
emblem.
parts in there that I've seen before, like obviously the feet are the same feet, the wrist here are the same.
But there is a different wrist set too. There's a different wrist.
It came with a second one. I did see that. But even just with the stuff that's already there, the way they painted it is so much cooler, and it like makes it look like a new part. Like I love the way like this circle part on the belt. Like we've seen this belt before. I'm pretty sure
the eye is new.
one. But the eye, the way they painted that. Yeah, that's just.
Is it the same eye?
I think it is, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't know there was an eye on. Oh, maybe it was just a dot and they painted it like an eye. I think that's what it is.
They may have changed that. I'm not sure, but that eye looks really. I know that
it looks different.
Yeah. And like
the chest detail is so cool.
Ogres are, you know, they're imposing already because they're big. But one thing I noticed with like the Nate Barch set, like once you throw pauldrons on these guys, they're even bigger. Like they are just
massive.
Yeah, just massive once you get some pauldrons on them.
I really like that chest piece, and it might now. Did they say that the Sir Uxak figure that chest piece is separate?
Are we missing something in chat?
Dorklair's Bill's comment. Which either Beluilith shot across the room, or you know.
Yeah, that's true. I think that chest piece, like behind the skull part, is the same as the Sir Uxak. Whatever.
Yeah,
how do you pronounce that?
I imagine it's like a.
But with the different like plug-in piece. Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, and you probably don't know this, Trevor, because the way that you get the parts is a little different than, well, it's much different than how we'll have the finished product. But I'm wondering how much articulation is going to be in this head here.
Well, it moves pretty well. I mean, that neck piece, I don't even know what you call that, but it's the whole thing that goes over the neck there.
Yeah, it's like a guard.
Restricts the head a little bit in terms of like, you know, turning down. Right. Looking this way, but I mean that's the character anyway. You know what I mean? He's kind of just like.
But the head can rotate like side to side.
Oh yeah. It's there's no problem rotating the head. I've been able to rotate the head on this. But you know, you look at things like, you know, those horns and stuff that are coming up with those bones that you know, I mean, there's going to be a little limitations. You can take that off though. That's a collar piece that comes off, and you can move the head any way you want. So.
Look at like the ornate details in the back, like the skull and stuff. Like most people aren't even going to see the back of this figure, but the time to put that in there. And this guy did not skip back day at the gym because he's got some back muscles there.
Got some lats there, man.
Yeah.
Wide, very large.
And what about that sword, man? That thing is massive.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, I
and
like
then there's
those.
the second set of wrist guards
I
there.
like the second set a lot.
Yeah.
Those are
Yep.
real slick looking.
I like those two. I'd probably, although he's so metal, it's hard not to put the horn.
Yeah, like the
bones
spikes
on
and the
there.
bones.
You know
on.
what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
you can't even come near this guy without getting hurt.
Now I'm sure they'll show it on Wednesday, but his face, like the bottom half, is kind of covered up by that neck piece, right?
You can see it a little bit there, but again, this is a low angle too. But I don't have
I'm
it
sure they'll
anymore.
show
I'd
it.
pull it out.
Yeah.
But I just sent him back to him yesterday, so I'm sure
Yeah, that
they'll have
dude-
him on Jeremy's show or something.
That's an amazing
dude looks-
shot, Trevor.
That's so badass.
Thanks, man.
It's like you do not want to. This is not where you want to be. Like, you don't.
This guy kind of sells himself. I mean, again, like
Yeah.
the thing with these guys are, and just a side note, that's an AI generated background. That's my first time I've ever done that.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not so big on the AI, but it is interesting to use it for backgrounds.
Sure.
You know, as long as it's not like taking the place of somebody else's work, whatever. Anyway, you know, there's only so much you can move these guys because they are, you know, they are prototypes. They are resin. They're not glued down. They don't hold a pose, you know, perfectly well. You know what I mean? Thank God that sword is there. Like he could never hold that up probably straight up.
Right.
You know what I mean? With the sword going up. So, but you'd never see it anyway because he's just enormous. So, yeah. He's cool.
Alec asked, do you know how far along these are in production? Have new parts already begun tooling? I do know that Jeremy said in the reveal special that they started tooling all this stuff the same time as Necronominus. So they're estimating Q3 of next year right now. So
it should.
I
I feel like it should come out like right after Necronominus. Like it should be
Okay.
Necronominus, and whether it's on the same boat or not, I don't know. But like it should be like a month or two, maybe three behind it.
and
And that's a pure guess from me. So don't you know.
Steph here saying
know.
that she loves the ethereal evil ambiance in the picture. I'm sure that's mostly Frazetta influence.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all Frazetta. Yeah.
If I,
I
had to
wouldn't
guess.
be here without Frazetta.
Here we go.
Most of us
Here
wouldn't
we
be
go.
here. Eric probably wouldn't be
Begins.
doing these without Frazetta's influence, quite frankly. So
To hear more about me and Trevor talk about Frazetta, tune in Sunday night, shooting the shelf. We're going to go into it at length.
Frazetta versus non-Frazetta. It's,
I love the like the,
place with no Frazetta.
this little piece here, this little cloth
Mhm.
piece. Like it's
Yeah.
subtle, but I really like that as well.
yeah, and that's wired too. It's nuts. Like everything is
Oh.
wired. Like
It's cool.
it's crazy, man. Like we're gonna get into it, but like again, the soft goods alone, and like you know, there are people making soft goods third party, and yes, those are more handmade. They're not made not necessarily in a factory. I'm sure that they're mass produced to some degree. Like Max Bird, I love his stuff.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean? But let's say the dressage for a horse costs you $45-$50. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Plus shipping. $65 for the full horse and the dressage. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's crazy. I mean, it's great what mass production can do for you, but it's still insane that they could probably be charging a whole lot more for these things.
Well, and it's
Don't tell them that.
really cool how they're reusing some of this same tooling that they've used on other figures, but
Yeah.
they're painting it in new ways
Mhm.
to where they're decreasing their cost on tooling, but at the same time they're creating new looks with the paint jobs.
This is the difference between like I watch a lot of and I collect Marvel Legends, so I watch a lot of Marvel Legends stuff, and like you see reuse. Reuse is the name of the game in toy
Well, it's in
creation.
everything,
You
yeah.
have to reuse because these dies cost a fortune to make, so you have to reuse the parts. And when people say, "Oh, it's just a lot of they use the same pauldrons we've seen," you got to do that. But the way they do it, I gotta say, is I think very unique within the toy community. Like there is a lot of difference. Like you can't sometimes tell it's the same part. You really got to look at it sometimes. Yes, these feet are we've seen these feet a lot on these size figures, but like just the like you said, the different paint. But there's always a new part. You know what I mean? Like people have been clamoring for new hands for the female characters on or on Marvel Legends for like 8 years now. It's like nothing happens. So like,
Right.
I mean, we got to be thrilled that we're getting new parts with even just some of these reused parts, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, this guy's just a beast. Any other thoughts on this guy before we move on? All
No, I
right.
love him. I just think he's awesome.
Yeah, he was very imposing. I'm gonna be interested to put him up against Greg. So
Yeah,
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
I definitely have to do that
that's gonna
shot.
be a battle. Next, we've got the Bone Wings, which I know some people were really asking about in the Necronominus wave. I know some people are even buying extra Necronominus himself just to get Bone Wings. So to get an extra set like this in the All In is pretty cool. And I think, I know people were talking about maybe putting a set with the Tuberculi and other things. So
Yeah, this would be
Yeah.
cool on the Tuberculi.
Mm-hmm.
That Tuberculi is going to be, I don't know, man. That's going to be everywhere. There's going to be so many customs with that thing.
there's going to be a lot of wild creations.
It's going
Yeah.
to be crazy.
Yeah, not to mention like just any toy collector that would come across it. It's just a crazy, horrible looking
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
villainous
For anything, for any
skeleton
line
thing.
that you want to
Exactly.
like play with. Yeah.
Yeah, you see that standing
So-
on a table, and you're going to be, whether you know anything about Mythic Legions or not, you're going to go, "What the heck is that?"
Yeah, that's a Thor enemy. That's an Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah,
you can put it up against anybody. It's
I
incredible.
feel like Legions work, like everybody jokes that like it'll work well with Mythic or whatever, but I
Yeah.
think it kind of goes the opposite with the monsters, where it's like every monster in the Legions line could look cool fighting every character you have,
Yeah.
whether it's Conan or
Yep.
G.I. Joe characters or Turtles or whatever. So I think that Tuberculi is going to be a really, really heavy hitter.
Nate says, "Pop and Swap Stars 2024 is going to be insane."
Absolutely.
What is
I
Joe
agree.
saying above that? So Trevor is saying there's a factory in China.
There's a factory in China. People more
Not
talented.
at all.
than-
I don't know what that's in reference to, Joe, but no, I mean,
Just how the paint jobs that they've been putting out. and
oh,
stuff.
the paint jobs. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, but those are all dictated by the guys at the studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They put that together, and then and they're incredibly talented. But the fact that they can turn those out and get that kind of level of detail and still sell the thing for $37 is amazing.
Alex says, "It turns out repainting figures works a lot better when you actually paint them," which
Yeah.
is, that's another thing that I hear a lot in not only Marvel Legends but other lines where, they'll print something or they'll inject it in the colors that they want to use rather than painting it, and then
Yeah.
it just doesn't look right. Like you get skin tones that are shiny and don't
Yeah.
look right and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally. Yep. Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's incredible to me that they can keep the prices the way they do, considering they
Yes.
seem to spare no expense.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, $15
when
for these
creating
wings, for these bone
Yeah.
wings.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, that's like a $45 add-on in any Super 7 character.
right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next we've got a couple of these all stars. I'm not going to spend too much time on them because we know these characters, but we did get both are in for the dwarf people.
Yeah, about 2 months after I bought them for a lot of money. Thanks.
That is
I'll
always the way
say,
that
though,
it works.
I'll say every one of these was I voted for. So these were
Oh,
all
really?
my votes.
I voted for Pixis only
Nice.
because I have
Yeah.
Ignatius. So.
Pixis is one that I paid way too much for, probably about 6 months ago. So
Actually, I did too. I have Pixis too, but Pixis I just felt was like parts wise, like something you could use a lot more of the parts than.
yeah, you could
Ignatius,
just put
but-
human arms on him. And
But
get
Ignatius
another-
looks beautiful. I'm glad people are going to be able to get him because it's a
Me too.
really cool paint job.
I do like, a lot of the coolness of both are, in my opinion, is covered up by that beard. If you take off that head and
There's a lot of detail in the chest, yeah.
there's a lot of detail there. So,
yeah, he's
not-
like copper and black, and
yeah,
he's got a
So
cool color
I would
scheme,
like
man.
to do something with some dwarves with either shorter beards or,
Yeah.
God forbid, a dwarf without a beard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
I hope Anthony's asleep.
Don't want any dwarf guys having a heart attack out there, a dwarf without a beard, but I just would like to see more of that torso for sure. So,
Yeah, for sure.
uh,
Yeah, there's a nice paint job on this thing. It really is. It's
yeah.
It's
Bill just
I
said pop a dwarf skull on there, and that's true. Like with that head
Oh, yeah.
stack that's coming up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
it's
awesome.
not. My lighting isn't great here, but like there it is. Like it's nice and
Oh, hold on.
coppery and it's got nice detail on it. Yeah, you really can't see it
Yeah.
very well, but
I would embiggen you, but I'm not. I don't
That's
know how to
okay.
do that. So,
it's a little button in the corner of the window.
okay. Let's see. So that was Bothar. Then we've got Clavian.
Yes.
Dude, I'm so stoked about this one.
You know,
Oh,
his
yeah.
shield looked really cool until we got that last release today with the new Necronominus shield. Then it's not.
Yeah, none of these. It's again. These are older. Listen, you got to respect your elders, man. These are.
It's
I
a
say that all the
skeleton.
time.
I mean, it's a people voted for it. It was the number one vote getter. So congratulations to those people that voted for it.
You know why? Because I saw everybody saying, "Oh, I could just paint this myself." I get it, but the joints are a pain in the ass to paint. You know what I mean? Like to get those red and not be rubbing and stuff like that. And it's an expensive figure, and I think it still looks cool. I mean, yes, it's an old, dated parts and things we've seen a million times, yada yada yada. But listen, man, there's completists in here.
Yeah.
we want our figures for less than $250, $300, $400, man. So
I mean, I'll take
I
the
like
red
this-
bones
Too
for
bad.
my pelvicus. So
yeah.
I like this character's bio as well.
Mhm.
Like the blood skeletons that fight with their own limbs and stuff. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like it'll be cool to have this dude holding his other arm with his hand, the one hand. I think it's cool.
it's
Greg said, "I did a dwarf without a beard, and Anthony threatened to unfriend me."
I mean, the thing is that, and I know we've talked about it at length about the new stuff compared to the old stuff, but I mean, the reveals that they had tonight makes me go, who were the other four that already were in? Because like they don't, it's, but Joe was on the reveal, made a good point that if you were to buy two of these figures like last week, if you were to buy Calavian and Bothar last week, it would have cost you as much as what this whole wave is going to be.
Twice as much, almost,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Almost.
So it's cool that we're getting these at a good price, and now we're getting all that other stuff too. So
Yeah, and as much as they say like we don't love doing those because of that, you know what I mean, and it's like they like doing the new stuff. I got to tell you, that stuff, getting the older stuff and getting a chance at the older stuff, can turn people into completionists. Now that doesn't help the Four Horsemen at this point. It helps eBay, people, but they do want to get everything going forward. So in a way, it kind of does.
Next, we've got a new horse, which I've not been the biggest horse fan in the past, but it's a Templar horse. So I'm a big Templar guy. So I'm torn here, Trevor.
How are you torn? You have to have this. You have to have this. This is. Let me tell you, like
I said going in, if there's a horse, I'm not going to buy it. And then they put out a Templar horse, and then I'm like, well, now I'm a hypocrite. So,
and it's Balius basically, but like again, and this is again, I'm not. I can swear here, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on Maxbird because I have two of his Templar dressage kits, and they're beautiful.
Yep.
But this quilted top is like nuts, man. I mean, it's nuts. And this is all Keithlin from C. Jessam.
Yeah.
That's her work, and it's beautiful, man. I mean, as much as I love those, and they look great when I put them on, I was like, damn, you can't get any better than this. I'm like, oh. I'm like that guy in the meme, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful, and
Who's
it doesn't
the,
restrict the movement. It's incredible.
What's the horse we just got? The gray one.
Boreas.
Yeah.
Boreas.
Yeah. I haven't opened that yet, and I was waiting to use him for a Templar.
There you go.
And
Well, I mean, yeah, you swap it out, sure.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do is take these soft goods. But I think I'll probably just take the bottom portion because I want that gray head coming off, because I think a gray horse for the Templar would be cool.
Yeah, that'll look cool.
Yeah. But I mean, another thing, we talk about just like the cost of these things and throwing all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff in. They give you all this extra stuff. So if you just want to make it into a Balius, like you've got
It is a Balius.
Yeah.
It's a Balius plus bonus, basically.
Yeah.
For
Right.
the same price as Balius, which is insane. It's crazy.
Well, what originally was the price for Balius, and now it's that skyrocketed.
right.
Yeah.
Well, right. Yeah.
So
Right.
the fact
Exactly.
that-
Yeah.
It's like if they offered this one originally versus Balius, I'd go for this one because it has a lot more to offer for
Sure.
the same price. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah.
I mean, and if you just want a Balius and you're not a Templar person, you buy this for $65.
Yep.
You sell the Balius for $50, and you've got all the the dressage for $50 probably. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
flag and all that stuff. Like, and you
Yeah, I
got a
definitely want
Balius
that
for
flag.
$15-20, man. Honestly,
Sure.
That flag is cool. I definitely want that thing.
hell yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a really nice addition.
Another beautiful shot.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I love the difference between the two, like the good and the evil. You did an excellent job, kind of.
Yeah, they did that at Necronominus,
that.
and they wanted to continue that look, and I think it works really well. Like,
it's-
it just gives you an idea who's who, I guess, and
Yeah.
it's fun. You know what I mean? It's fun
Mhm.
to like switch it up. Plus, it makes it a little easier. Think of a different scene for every one of these.
for every character.
I really do love this quilted part on the top.
Stitching is
just so
nuts,
nice.
man.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
then these parts here that Jeremy was saying, these are all wired, so you can kind of
All
get
wired,
movement
all
if you want.
wired, insane.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And you could take that. I think the blanket is separate, like the little red.
Yeah,
So I think you can take. I think it's separate. I don't think. Don't quote me on that, but I thought it was
Okay.
separate. That you could take that off and just put it on another horse without the quilting and stuff like that.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Yes, dressage, Bill. That's right. It's the proper
Dressage.
term.
Yeah, that's just really cool, and it's just so much with it for the price. So
Nuts.
yeah,
Nuts.
this is crazy. All right, so that was Deacon. Next, we've got this guy who's just
yeah.
amazing and should have
Yeah.
been the number one vote because, like, come on, who doesn't want this guy? The real family man of the vote, you know? Yeah.
You know what's going to
Gorthok's
make
all-
this figure better, Curtis?
What's that?
A belt. A better belt.
You know what? You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You know what else is going to make this?
It's just
figure
gonna chef's kiss, man. It's
better?
gonna.
You know what else is
become
going to
a-
make this figure better is that the limbs aren't going to be all wobbly when you get it. You know, you know
Okay.
what I'm saying. That wave had kind of the wobbly legs.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, Mike Orthok's pretty tight, man. I don't know.
Is
I
it?
got an original, yeah, and it's pretty tight. Yeah, it's not bad.
Gotcha. I know a lot of people that it seemed like there was
Yeah.
kind of some QC stuff, but I mean everything that
Mhm.
we've gotten lately, man, they're just so much better. Just
Oh.
the
Yep.
quality
Super
control,
tight.
even. Yeah.
hmm
absolutely.
So I'm super excited for this guy, and I've got a few unknown one wings lined up to put on here. If you haven't put those on this guy, like the color match is almost perfect.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
I love the color of this thing, man. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
so
Yeah,
I
he's
was-
one
I was
I've
excited
never
about
seen
that
in
one.
person, so I'm excited.
Oh,
to get it.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the shininess. Like somebody was talking about this today. Where was I listening to this? Somebody was talking about. I think it was the Euro Legions guys. They were talking about the shininess of the skin. You know, because it just, but it almost, it just has that bronzed look to it. Like it's almost a bronze skin. It's really,
Yeah.
really cool, man.
Well, and that's what makes it, I think, match really well with that unknown one, because it's one of those, like when you first saw the unknown one, like you couldn't even describe the color, because it's like it's not black, it's not brown, it's like this,
It's
like
kinda-
It's like a
Kinda
dark
cherry.
antiqued bronze.
Right.
almost,
Yeah.
and this is very similar. So
Yep.
yeah, I love this guy. So
This is
I'm
a good
very
one. I
happy.
think people are going to dig this one for sure.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Then we've got Sir Andrew, and this
Yeah.
was Joe Vassapolo
Yeah.
creation.
Just congratulated him on this, man. I didn't even know it was his. This is fantastic.
This figure got cooler as Joe talked about it. Like,
I
he
know,
was
right?
cool.
Yeah, like the backstory and yeah.
Yeah, he looked cool. You know, it's just like a cool red knight or whatever. But as he talked about the story and the character and kind of pointed out the bits and pieces, like I absolutely love this character and want to
Yeah.
get a couple extras to have those like kind of bear knights.
Mm-hmm. But I love the idea that he's a pyromancer. Like he's he's a magician and a knight, which is really, really a cool thing.
Yeah.
You don't see that
like a paladin kind of.
Yeah.
I love
That
this
flame
blue
is awesome.
That blue flame looks cool.
That was the photo that made me go, okay, he's on the pre-order list now.
Yep. Yeah.
I honestly when you said that, I was like, okay, because for me, knights, it's almost like a dime a dozen. No offense to anyone who likes the Templar, I get why that is, but when you give me one that looks unique or has something unique about him, automatically, like that's why Ignatius is one I really wanted. And then when I saw Sir Andrew, I'm like, oh, he's got powers, awesome. You know, like, I got to put him on the shelf for that reason. So
well, and I like that he had he's got the flame part, but then he's also got this part that I guess
magic effect. Yep, the
so it's like he can shoot it out either way. And then I love the soft goods on the back of this thing. This like
crazy
winged
all wired look. It's nuts.
And then these pauldrons are really awesome as well. Just
and you can get how they're
those. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I said not to mention how it seems like they're with all the extra hands and then the possibilities in like paint matching that they're creating like almost just like fodder bin figures. You know, as you can display this guy as is, and then as like the naked knight, and then have all these extra pieces that'll match Balaam or Silver Knight or whatever.
These pauldrons would go incredible on Balaam. This cape and everything, man, it would be amazing.
Oh yeah, it's so cool
for sure.
And then the amount of hands that you're going to get with all of
somebody's
these
asking,
figures.
does the Aether flame? I think it is the same flame. I think it is.
He said it's the same.
He said it was the same.
So
just
it'll fit. So it should fit right on there.
Cool.
Yeah, he's cool, and
and
it's kind of got that Sir Galeron look to it. You know what I mean in terms of color.
Yeah.
So for all the people who didn't get Sir Galeron, I mean, you kind of got a little bit of Sir Galeron here. You know what I mean?
With an actual face instead of a bucket head.
Yeah.
Right. Or you could just have this. You know what I mean? Like you could just have that builder.
I love that.
Look at all this. So you have the 2 effects, the shield, multiple weapons, multiple hands, 2 heads, and that's a $37 figure.
$37 figure.
Yeah.
That's
soft
crazy.
goods.
And the soft goods. Yeah. Another great pose and great shot.
I love that helmet with the faceplate down.
Yeah.
That looks really cool.
It does, yeah.
Super into that.
I love that they use that same helmet.
It looks a little like Joe, doesn't it?
It does.
It's a little like Joe.
Maybe.
I think it kind of looks like Joe.
I even like the soft goods to the front. Like I really love the back, but the front looks pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And then even like the skirt piece here, the loin piece.
Yep.
Man, such a good figure.
Yeah, he said that skirt piece was sculpted back then too, right? Like right when they were putting these figures together.
I think so, yeah.
Is I'm guessing that chain is part of the soft goods?
The chain is part of the soft goods, yep.
That's cool.
The pauldrons are separate. And then there's soft goods actually underneath the skirt, the metal skirts too.
Oh wow!
Underneath there, you can see it sort of peeking out there.
Yeah, I thought at first I thought the chain was connecting the 2 pauldrons, but that makes more sense.
No, I believe that's part of the
Man, that's so cool.
Yeah, I love this figure.
Colors are amazing.
I love that. This I got to keep going back to this because it's so cool. Oh, that flame looks awesome.
You know what's cool about the shot? That I got him to hold up that sword. There actually might have been something holding that up. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But again, these are all prototypes. Great. It's not that the figure won't be able to. Of course it will be, but prototypes are not the same.
Awesome. And then this is my boy right here.
Yeah. This
is awesome.
Man. Oh, dude, that like right there, like that is straight out of give me some Indiana Jones and Last Crusade right there.
You have chosen wisely.
I love that. I love the over cape, like over the pauldrons and stuff. I think the first one they did that with was the Dubon, right? Where they actually went over the pauldrons.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, I guess it was Dubon. Yeah, I mean, because Attila has that too, right? But I
yeah,
think
His,
Dubon did have that.
goes
Yeah.
on to it.
yeah. I just that like this soft good set alone. If you were to get that from somebody, an aftermarket soft good, company, that would cost you as much as this figure is going to cost.
Oh yeah, because it's all.
more,
I mean, it's
probably.
top
Yeah.
to bottom soft.
Yeah,
goods.
yeah. You got the loin piece, the torso, the
It's
waist
practically
piece,
a Mezco
overcoat.
figure, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Which costs $100.
This is more than 33%, and I don't care. I don't care that it's more than 33% soft goods. This thing is awesome.
It's over. It's over.
Well,
Curtis
now,
collects
Curtis-
dolls.
I will
He's-
say it
So
right now,
it's
it's
okay if
my
it's a
favorite
doll.
doll that I will have ever purchased.
He will
Yeah,
rub it
this
all
guy's
over his lips.
loadout
And
is crazy.
Dude, look at all this.
Look at all this.
all this and all those soft goods for 37.
It's crazy.
Oh,
Those pauldrons are really cool too.
They are.
I love the way they painted the wings for the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I'm not a huge bucket head helmet guy, but those wings are pretty awesome.
He looks
There it
cool
is.
holding that with the wings. And I like
Yeah,
that. I couldn't get him to hold the other one with the giant, whatever the hell those are.
That's just majestic right there.
Yeah, he just looks great, man. This wizened, and the belts, the dual belts going across look great.
Mm-hmm.
The belts just really do make this, man.
Oh.
It's really good. Now you're gonna
I feel
want
like
to
you
you
make
could
a
put
huge
like white
difference.
gloves on when you handle him, but like other than that,
Yeah,
And
I feel
for
like
any-
getting dirty.
wash my hands.
They
every time
nailed-
I touch this figure.
They nailed the classic look of some of these things, like a Templar Knight and like the big
Mhm.
Black Knight and the skeletons we haven't looked at yet. Like they're really like the exact interpretation of what you pictured as a kid,
Oh yeah,
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 or just in fantasy. You picture a Templar Knight, it's that guy.
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, Greg. I don't care that I'm playing with dolls. This is a doll that's worth having.
And for anyone who does actual face plates that it looks like collectors in the community, I'm sure that Curtis will be more than happy to have you hit him up, because I'm sure this is the guy on his shelf that he's going to want to put his own little faceplate in there and
Hell
turn it
yeah.
into a Sir
Yeah.
Ackerman.
Yep.
That's right. Little
And
fur on
Sir
the collar.
Curtis.
And while we're talking about my favorite figure in the wave, what better person to bring in than Jeremy Gerard?
Oh, there he is.
Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. Sorry I'm so late, guys.
Oh, you're fine.
I was actually having a lore discussion with Eric Treadaway, and when you're doing that, you don't pull away for pretty much
No.
anything.
Yeah, no, you don't break away from that. So, what are your thoughts, man? You just got done with the reveal special. You got done talking to Eric. Like, what are your thoughts?
Like I said on the show, just thrilled to finally be able to get these things out into the world. As a fan, seeing these characters and wanting to talk about them with other fans, when you tell me, Curtis, how much you like, Sir Elijah, and how you bought a bunch of those, and I see Sir Enoch, and I'm like, oh goodness, I feel like Curtis is going to love this character, and this is going to complement what he's already excited for. Not being able to share that is, challenging. You want to share that. So really excited to get that out there, to finally be able to talk about these with people and see their reaction to them as well.
Yeah, we were just looking at that figure, and just the amount of stuff with, like, the soft goods alone is worth the price. I mean, we were just talking about it. If you bought these soft goods from a third party company,
$60.
yeah, you're going to be paying that just for that. And then you look at the loadout that he comes with, and like, I understand Chris calling you guys crazy for this being a $37 figure. Like, that's ridiculous amount of stuff, and the soft goods for $37.
And that's what it is. When we were pricing this, Therasis was the one that I went to Eric and I said, is Therasis a deluxe figure? And he wrote me back and he said, I was really hoping it would come in as a standard. And I laughed because I knew that's exactly what he was going to say, because that is so the mentality at the studio is when they're putting the stuff together, they just throw everything in there that they think that it would be cool that it would come with, And there's rarely a conversation that someone says, oh, well, that's too much stuff. That's going to knock it to the next price category. It's
Right.
always, okay, can we do this? Can we realistically? And, we said this in the Necronominus wave. There are some figures in that wave that probably should have been deluxe price that we kept at standard price. And, we pushed that with this as well. So, good value. I mean, it's incredible to see that amount of stuff for that $37 price point.
And you think sometimes, like with certain waves, like when you see, again, I hate to harp on Hasbro, but like you see a wave of Marvel Legends, and you can see like, okay, they saved a little here, and they kept the same prices or whatever because they saved on this figure. It's a bunch of reused parts, and it's like blah blah blah, and it's a little, but like every one of these things is not. It's like priced, right? It's priced the same. You know what I mean? It's just they were like everything in the Necronominus wave, and it's like there's nothing that's lacking in this lineup to say like, oh, they saved a little bit here by not doing that. There's no. It's nuts, man. It's crazy. They just do a great job of keeping those costs at bay. I don't know how they do it. It's amazing.
Well, I mean,
I've talked to Chris about it. I don't know.
Well, I don't want to talk about negative about other companies as well because I don't know their business model and stuff. But I mean, obviously, when you're talking about a company like Four Horsemen, we're a privately held company. We don't have shareholders. We don't have certain things that have to happen that a giant toy company has to deal with. So,
and you don't have a licensing issue too, but still, still.
I mean, look, Hasbro owns a lot of that stuff.
G.I. Joe, exactly.
That they own.
Mm-hmm.
It's they're making certain decisions that are right for their business, and just like Four Horsemen are making the decisions that are right for theirs. But I said multiple times, thank you to the fans for supporting, and that is true. Is with the increase in success and the increase in popularity of these figures, it allows us to, the more you make, the cheaper they are. We're taking those savings because of the popularity and passing it right back to the fans by keeping the prices low. Our goal, we say $37. Look, $37 is the pre-order price. The actual retail price of these figures are $50. I think that for $50, that is still an incredible value. So at the 37, it's just even more value that you're getting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if I went to get a dozen of these, I would not blame myself. If I was my own wife, I would not get mad at me. She's giggling in the other room. I would not get mad at me.
Are you saying that loud enough for her to hear that? Yeah.
It's because this is an amazing figure. Like, this is leapt right off of Last Crusade and into my arms.
And again, if you ask me what this costs, like at retail, I would $50, but $60 or $70 would probably be my guess. Not knowing this, of just looking at this, trying to add up what the cost of the soft goods and all the parts and stuff, and
if you
absolutely,
and then profit on top of that for a retailer is $60-$70, and the fact that it's only $50 at retail is nuts. Like, so $37 when you're paying up front, man, is incredible.
I mean, you were talking earlier that this is very similar to like a Mezco build, like in terms of the amount of soft goods,
the amount of soft goods. Yeah.
So
This is Mezco
If
level.
this was a 1/12 figure, this would easily be, $95, $100, no problem.
Easy.
Right? So, $37 is a steal on this.
It's nuts.
So, yeah. That's
the only thing you don't get is a Mezit and maybe a T-shirt and some stickers or something.
Yeah, but if we included all
Which
that
I
stuff,
don't need.
Right.
Exactly. A T-shirt. Yeah.
So I'm curious, guys, because obviously I'm behind the camera for the show and stuff, and I'm so focused on just the technical aspect of getting everything posted and doing everything. What has the general reaction? What are your thoughts to the wave as a whole and the characters? You're talking about Sir Enoch, but were there any specific favorites and stuff that you guys are hearing in the community already?
The big guy, Baradoc.
Yeah.
He was very popular. I think the biggest surprise so far for most everybody has been the belts pack. Like,
yeah,
it's just we knew, like, everybody's been asking for it. We knew at some point you would probably give it to us. Didn't know that it was going to come in this wave. So that I think is the biggest shock. And I wouldn't be surprised if those things sell like hotcakes. So,
and that's a
The heads
perfect
pack, too.
example.
Yeah.
Like I said on the show, people like Joe and myself being involved, that's a perfect example of us saying, like, hey, we really want these. Like, I'm pulling apart, like a Bashadi figure or a Krotos just to use that belt on a custom. And I'm like, this is ridiculous that I'm opening a figure just to use that belt. So the idea of a belt pack just made total sense. And the minute we pitched it to Eric, he was 100% on board. Like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Because even him, being able to go into the library and use those belts in new figure designs, he sees what a benefit it has been. So that was an easy one to get into the wave.
Yeah, I mean, just like on that figure that we were just looking at, like you can tell, like those belts make such a difference on there.
Yep.
So, like right here, you got the belts right here, and then the one like it just looks so good with all the latches and everything. And that was the other thing that we talked about on the belts pack. Like, it's not like you're giving us a $12 belts pack and it's all one color. Like it's got all the details on it. Like this thing has got all the rivets and buckles and everything.
Some gold, some silver,
Yeah.
Not to mention the different types, like the different types that hold different weapons or whatever, whether it's chest or waist or anything. Those are fantastic.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of talk.
amazing
I was
value.
watching another stream as I was listening to the main stream. I was kind of keeping an ear in to another stream that somebody else was watching it and discussing it in between. And the heads pack was like another thing that people were kind of nuts about. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, we haven't got quite to that one yet. We are now on Ignatius, which it's another all-star figure, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But I'm excited to have this thing in my collection. I don't know about you guys, but this is one that I did not have, and it's just such a cool paint job. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this one winning the alumni vote?
I'm happy for people because this is beautiful. I bought this last year for more
much more money.
Spend whatever.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. I think Pixis I wanted because just for the parts, just to do Mercurian things. But like this is going to be great too for some of the knights coming out. Like it's just a cool paint job. It's really, really beautiful. And I think the pictures kind of show the paint job off pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, anything light colored like this, white, pearl, like that stuff is hard to paint. So getting something like that in this color is going to be so useful for anything else. Like even if you did want to make a custom and you wanted to make it pearlescent or white, and you didn't want to have it look like this is a great base to work with.
Well, like Greg is saying right there, Kurt, you're going to need 4 to be Sir Ukjak's guards. Like that's true. I believe, I don't know, Jeremy, I think this matches pretty close to Ukjak, right? Like in terms of.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Not
like if you
quite as shiny, but I think Ukjak.
Yeah,
but
so obviously this matches with Gadriel, the angel from the Advent of Decay wave, really well. Both of those look wonderful with Ukjak, but they're not exact. Ukjak's a little bit different.
Gotcha. But that's going to be a cool one to add to the collection. So
He was one of my favorites from the first wave. I always really liked Sir Ignatius in the first wave. I remember people not being excited for him and that color not translating. We talked jokingly about the photos don't do the figures justice. Goodness, the original photos that they took, you couldn't tell what the color of that knight was at all. So, really, really, these new photos show it in so much of a better light. I'm definitely, he was my choice in the alumni vote, so I was happy to see him win.
Yeah, I don't know that there was a bad choice in the alumni vote. I mean, I would say Carpathius would have been my least just because I have him, but I mean, they're all great figures. So, the next one we've got is, and
shut up, Kevin.
Did I get this right? Scally Bone Splitter, which is our dwarf skeleton. and this guy is just cool. like
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Viking-esque look to him. I love the shoulder. We got the other side of the shoulder pad from the Gladiator. So now we've got a full set. So yeah, we'll start. Sean, what are your thoughts on this one?
This is one of those cases, and you said it a bunch now. It's like looking at now versus then, and it really does it. Like this is a great wave to show that, because we got Clavian, now we have this, and I love that because it's showing how far the line has come over the period of the years it's been out. But this one, like, I'm just thrilled that there's that extra skull pauldron now, because I've had my Adam on with one skull pauldron for a year, and I'm really excited that he's going to have both of those. But on top of that, I'm really excited that there is a skeleton dwarf now. That's really cool.
Yeah. Trevor?
Yeah, I love this guy, man. I love this. The head sculpt is fantastic. Just a little bit of like the face showing through, and you know, with the beard on it, you know, the beard on the skull, which, you know, has been debated. Does the beard, but like dwarves, apparently that beard goes bone deep, man. So like,
they're born with it, right?
Exactly. And the little eye slits and stuff. He just looks really evil and cool. And I love the chest plate. You know what I mean? The torso plate is really cool. And just a little bit of like, if you see just a little bit of tattered, you know, skirt right above the skirt piece there in front, the tabard in front. Like, I love that. Just like little details like that. I love that kind of stuff. Just the uneven, you know what I mean? They're not totally balanced, and I love it. I love these skeleton figures, man.
Gnarly too. It's you know, it's not clean, and you know, it's not manicured beard. It's gives you that Viking-esque look to it. David?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I love that they went with like the Viking blue color. And then it was, you know, if you look at like a Torgen figure, it's just a barbarian with little wrists and little shins, you know? So the thighs were the only thing they needed to do. And when the Terpiculi came out, it was like, this has got to happen. You know? And I love dwarf figures already, like the dwarf race. So this one's just a welcome addition. I can't wait to get them.
I could see like a little Viking boat with just like 6 or 8 of these guys in there, you know.
Awesome.
Mist coming over the water. Oh,
somebody's
got to make me a Viking boat. Who can make me a Viking boat?
I'm sure Anthony's probably already got one together as soon as they showed a dwarf. And
Anthony better go play
Trevor's shot here. This is just another amazing shot, Trevor. Just
thanks, man.
So creepy and cool.
I love doing these skeletons, man. I'm gonna be, you know, it's always fun doing anything, obviously, but it's fun to do the undead, man. The undead are fun.
You get the little head cocked to the side, and
just a little bit of crick, like he's like, you know,
right.
Like,
and I
do that with
included that hammer too. That's really neat.
That's awesome.
The weapons are great. It's just this is a fun figure, man. And dwarf people, man.
Yeah, Jeremy, good job taking care of the dwarf people.
So I will tell you a little background on that dwarf character. That head was part of the Mythic Legions Undead Heads pack. So originally when it was designed, the heads pack was 6 heads. It was the 5 skeletons we got, and it was that one. So it was all brand new heads. And we were looking at it, we were like, you know what? It is such a shame to put this dwarf head in the heads pack and kind of force people to have to get a tuberculi just to use the thighs. And like, they would have had to buy multiple figures to put together the undead dwarf. So we were like, you know what? Let's do that character. And I said that in the show. I said he was the last character we kind of threw in there for that reason. So it ended up doing 2 things. Not only did it give us that undead dwarf, you know, as a full build, but it also had us look at the the heads pack, and we said, well, okay, we're getting rid of one of the skulls. We didn't have another skull that was already sculpted. So we said, well, let's repaint a couple heads as zombies. And that's how the Hagnon and that ghost head got thrown in there. So it's interesting that, originally it was sculpted to be part of the heads pack, but just by, looking at what the offering was and making some changes, I think it ended up making one product better, made the Undead Heads pack better with the inclusion of the zombies, and it gave us a really cool new character in Scally Bone Splitter.
Let's be honest, though. You wanted the Hagnon as a zombie, so that's why you did it.
I've painted that head multiple times, and I've long said that it's one of the best sculptures in the line, and it's criminal that you don't see the sculptural details because it's transparent. So yes, I'm thrilled that we finally got to get that in there.
That's cool. So the next one we had was this, we're in the alphabetical order anyways, is the Skeleton Raider, which I remember Eric on the reveal special said something about Harryhausen vibes. Didn't say anything about Frazetta, so I'm sure that didn't play any part in this at all.
Yeah,
so
see what I got to deal with here. I mean, geez.
Look at the time.
Yeah.
I
Save
love
it for
this
Sunday.
character. This is like your typical the old stop animation movie kind of skeleton. Like I can just see this thing creepily like walking towards you, and like how Trevor was having the poses with that last skeleton we looked at, just kind of cricked in a certain way and just kind of awkward walking. Like this thing's gonna make some good animation. So Trevor, I'll turn it over to you. Go ahead and present us.
This is totally Frazetta, man. Like Harryhausen did like Spartan stuff, and like they didn't look like this. That's a Frazetta helmet, man. Like right there, that's Frazetta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I really I dig this guy, man. He's I don't know if he's my favorite, but I love skeletons, and he's just such a pure skeleton. It looks so good, like the way the ribs, that there's body underneath there, obviously supporting that, but you don't see it at all, man. It's so good. It's so good the way the neck connects. This is there's people coming out with other skeleton figures, other companies, Bush and whatchamacallit, it's the whatever. Anyway, but this is the best, man. It's the best.
Yeah.
I'm not being biased. It's the best structural skeleton, pure skeleton that's out there, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah, when they had shown the Maxilius figure at Necronominus, like without all the robes and stuff, and it was just the pure skeleton, I was like, man, I just want some like Jason and the Argonauts, like shield and sword kind of fighting skeleton, and this is what I wanted. Like this is perfect. And then you add, we'll talk about the heads pack later, but you throw a different head on here, and it creates different looks for these guys, and I think you could totally army build the heck out of this thing. So
yeah. And Rick Jones says,
go ahead.
Rick Jones, I'm going to have nightmares eventually with all these undead. The only thing I have nightmares about is when the limbs fall off, right when I've got the pose just perfect.
Yeah.
Because they're prototypes.
And he did say, too, about Sinbad. Yeah, Jason and the Argonauts. Yeah, totally getting those vibes. So, David,
or Conan.
Your thoughts on this? Yeah, that too.
This is one of my favorites in the line, or in the wave. Like I just love skeleton warrior characters. And like I said earlier, it's like they captured that with so many of these characters that you're like, that's what a skeleton warrior looks like. It's perfect, And I love the extra parts that he comes with, like the extra loin pieces and the extra bracers and the helmet.
Yeah, the Calabius helmet.
Yeah, this is definitely one that you could just buy a ton of and part swap the heck out of.
It's ridiculous. Multiple sets of bracers, multiple sets of hands, multiple loin pieces. Like you basically got two figures in here almost. Sean, what are your thoughts? I know you like the skeletons.
Yeah, I mean, like Frazetta is the only thing that keeps coming to my mind, and it's probably making you very angry, but I don't care.
No, I'm fine.
That's good.
No, I do. I wish I could afford like an army of 50 of these on the shelf, just this is a great army builder figure as far as anything. And to be honest, I'm actually hoping that maybe we'll have like a fleshy version of that head sculpt somewhere down the line as well, because I really do love that helmet. And I think that would work really well on a noble bear character, and I'm hoping that happens in the future. But yeah, absolutely love this as well.
Yeah, between this one, the dwarf, and then the other figure that we're going to look at in a little bit, like I just feel like when all of those get together, it's going to create a really cool skeleton army. And that's I don't want to beat a dead horse as far as the all-star vote goes, but that's kind of what I was saying with that. Like, yeah, I get it. Calavian is an expensive figure. Pixis is an expensive figure, but like, look at these skeletons that they're coming out with now. They're just so much better. Like, they're so cool. Man, I just love them. So let's see what Trevor came up with for a photo. There you go. Man, love that.
This guy just looks shambling, man. I love it. I love these guys. I love skeletons.
I love the Viking influence that's starting to seep in here too. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of nondescript. It's like it is Viking, I suppose. Yeah, I mean it is to some degree, but it's kind of like that, just like that fantasy look. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if
more
that's
like
even based
Viking
in.
than
Yeah, I don't
real
think
life.
that's based in any kind of like reality or anything. I know that Eric
not
looks
at
at
all.
that kind of stuff, but I think he plays a little bit off of.
Didn't you say
Off of that
something
stuff,
about
too.
Vikings on the show, Jeremy? As far as the map and stuff.
Well, I referred to Vikenfell. So
Yeah.
Vikenfell is an area of the map of Mythos that's kind of up in the north above Bjorngar. And that's an area that we haven't explored much. Recently, we talked about kind of Ilgar being a raider from Vikenfell. And we just got Ilgar in obviously the All Stars 5 wave. So when we were talking about the bios for these characters, the Skeleton Raider specifically, because we had all named characters, and we said, well, let's make this character not a named character, but make it just kind of an army builder type, like release. Because we really did imagine that between the heads pack and between, the other, helmets, just throwing a helmet on there like we did with Calavius, we figured that fans would really army build this to create like a skeleton kind of horde. So figuring out where they came from, we liked the idea when we were thinking about lore of, Necronominus coming from the southern waters where their Deadlands is, but calling the undead to it. Vikenfell being this kind of cursed, settlement up in the north above Bjorngar that succumbed to this, death basically, and all of these undead Viking-like warriors being there and them marching towards the center of Mythos as well. That was just a storyline element that we thought was really, really interesting. So that's why we created, that one, and then had Scally also be from Vikenfell as the person that's leading that undead horde into Mythos.
Yeah, I think once all's said and done and you get like a group shot of these guys from this wave, the skeletons together, it's just going to look so cool. Did want to pull this up. Brick something saying these shots are ridiculously good. Trevor, love the mood and drama you captured. Absolutely. Like,
Thanks, Brick.
Man, so like lately, I mean, your work's always been impeccable, but like the Monkey King and then now this stuff, like you're just like on a whole different level now.
Thanks.
So
Man. Appreciate it.
That's the nice things I'm going to say to you, and then Sunday we'll get into the mean things that I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm gearing up for that. Yeah.
So I'm going to skip ahead to the Undead Heads pack. We'll get that last character in a second.
JG's got a question. Maybe Jeremy, like, does the Raider have the same pelvis piece as Maximus? But no, Maximus has like it probably attaches the same way, but that's a bone pelvis on him. Right?
Yeah. So he's got the same. So we did a couple different pelvises. Like the one that comes with Maxilius, because it's a full actual pelvis, it doesn't connect to a torso the way that we're used to. We're used to seeing that pelvis with the big ball and the torso plugs on it. It couldn't work that way. So that spine comes up and it actually connects underneath where the rib cage is. So that's why when Eric did all the sculptural pieces for the Necronominus wave, he did a couple different torsos and he did a couple different waist pieces. So that one, it's got a full belt and everything. It's similar to like the pelvis that came on the tuberculi.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So if it's got a waist piece, it's the kind of the standard one.
Yeah,
It looks more like that.
There.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you wanted that character to have a full pelvis, again, because it's painted in that standard bone color, if you add an extra Maxilius the Harvester, you could take the torso and the pelvis from Maxilius, swap that onto the Skeleton Raider, and you could have that full, if you wanted that full bone type look.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's great. The paint matching is great.
Yeah, that's super helpful.
It's key.
So next we've got the Undead Heads pack, which surprised me. I'll be honest. Like, I thought there was a chance of the Heads pack, but I really thought I'd seen some people say about like a Knight's Head pack, which I thought would have been a good idea for all the Aetheron Buckethead guys that don't have faces, from the earlier waves. So I was kind of surprised to see it be an undead one, but the fact that it's not just human skeletons that it's full of, but we got all these crazy creatures and races and so starting out, this is the gorilla one, correct?
Yep. Which like we said in the show, that was specifically requested by Cornboy when he saw the tuberculi build with those long arms. He immediately said, what would look awesome on that? A gorilla skull. And gorillas have such distinctive skulls that Eric immediately knew that, that's going to look really cool as just, a piece to use on the figure. So that one, got greenlit really quickly because of Cornboy.
Undead flying monkeys.
Have articulated jaw as well.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Then we've got the vampire one, and this one's also articulated, and it's got the fangs on it. That's really cool.
I love that one.
That's great.
The vampire one, yeah, that's neat. I don't know that I recall seeing a vampire one like even from any of the third party guys. So this was kind of cool.
I've done a custom of one. I had done one with the Malleus head, where Malleus is missing one of his teeth. I cut out the tooth on the other side, and I used toothpicks, like the tips of toothpicks, and I glued them there. And weirdly, like, toothpicks are the perfect color to match the Malleus skull. So I had done that, but you're right. I have never seen an actual third party one. I've seen orcs, but I've never seen the vampire. So that's a cool one to get.
Yeah, that one's neat. Then we did get an orc one, and that one's got the articulated jaw as well. And then this one's not articulated, but this is the wolf
lion
one. Is that right?
That one's the lion.
This is the lion one. Okay.
Yep, that's a feline head.
Gotcha. But not articulated, but it does have that kind of open mouth, like snarling face.
Yep.
And then this is the wolf one then, right?
That's the wolf. Yep.
Gotcha. So quite a few different looks there to just kind of pop and swap. And then we got the like zombie type heads. And now this one, is this a new head?
No, that was one of the ghosts from the Undead Builder pack.
Oh,
so
it's transparent.
similar to Hagnon,
Gotcha.
that was presented in a transparent sculpture. So you didn't really get to see a lot of those sculptural details until it's fully painted like that. But that's a figure that came, our head that came in the Necronominus wave in that Undead Builder pack that this is now paint matched towards.
Gotcha. That's really cool looking. I love the way that paint came out.
It's got a very ghoulish type look,
Zombies
like, we say
great.
zombie, but that's got that classic ghoul-like look to it.
Yeah, it's like very emaciated or whatever. Yeah, and you said this is all skin match for that deluxe builder, arms and legs and stuff.
Absolutely.
And then Jeremy's favorite. we got the Hagnon painted so you can see the details. And this is another just really cool one. So
Alan
Beautiful.
McLaughlin is saying in the chat too. Somebody else asked me on the other stream that I was watching. How I felt about these like being used. Like the just use for like props and stuff like that in scenes, which is I mean he's saying what I like about these heads is you can use them as set dressing in your displays when they're not on a figure, which is absolutely.
Yeah, and I think
Pile
Joe
of
even
skulls
said, like,
or animal skulls. Out in the
somebody
desert,
like
whatever.
hanging one from a necklace or something, or like or carrying it or whatever.
Yeah, for the ogre scale stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
JD says it's way past Jeremy's bedtime. That is true. So
definitely past my bedtime.
Yeah, anytime that you need to drop Jeremy, feel free. We understand you've been working hard. So but all in all, like, this whole heads pack is really cool. It's going to give you a lot of different looks. So any favorites on here, Sean, that you like?
I'm not a big vampire guy, but I really dig the vampire one for some reason.
Yeah.
I just it's more like not to call it a ghoul head, but it looks ghoulish as hell. Like if that came at you in the shadows, Jesus, like. And also I do like the gorilla as well, just because that's just crazy that there's a gorilla skull in this line now.
Right.
So.
I do like the vampire ones that the fangs are a little bit more towards the middle instead of the outside. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
David, any favorites for you?
Yeah, I love it's like the tread away vampire, with like the kind of turned in teeth.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's going to be really fun to use that last skeleton builder with like the orc head and the vampire and giving him gauntlets from like, the 1.0 characters or Carpathius or anything like that, where it's like you're going to have like just skeleton builders with all different types of armor on now. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Trevor, any favorites for you?
I like the orc a lot. I love the ape. I don't know what I'm going to do with the ape, but I do like that zombie. I'm loving the zombies, man. I think the zombies are going to be a lot of fun to shoot, man.
You say you don't know what you're going to do with the ape?
Well, I know I want to do like a flying monkey, undead monkey. So I want to do something that's good about with that. But like, it's going to be perfect on the tuberculi. I know it's going to be great, but it's an obvious thing. Like, I just don't know what to do with that at that point. You know what I mean? I'm going to make it, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But I'll come up with something.
And the last guy that we got on here is Thrasis, the first prison. And this is just another really awesome looking one.
Soft goods are nuts on this.
Just the way that the bones are showing through the soft goods, and it's kind of got this dirty, tattered look to it. The shield is amazing, which, I mean, we've come to kind of know that about these shields. Hopefully it comes with a clip instead of a handle. I don't know. They'll throw that out there.
So that's
Next
a conversation we're having. That's a conversation we're having, because there was a legit reason why the change was made to the handle, but the people saying that the clips work better, especially with the heavy shields, totally accurate. That's true. So we're talking about that at the studio now to see, whether this comes with a clip, whether it comes with both.
Well, the problem with this is the arms are going to be thinner, right? Because they're bones. Like, you've got to have like a different size clip probably for that. Yeah,
I think he's got the bracers on over the arms. Is that correct?
Well, he does, but that other arm that's hidden there is fully armored.
Oh, it's fully armored?
Yeah, he has a very mismatched design.
Oh, I see that there.
You're not seeing there is a fully armored arm.
That's cool.
The hand it ends in a skeletal hand, but the bracer is armored.
Are these new pauldrons here?
Those are the Poxus pauldrons.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't realize it has like chainmail underneath of it.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's a really cool look.
Yeah, I love that. And then he's got like fur at the top of the cape. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's attached to the cape too, which is cool.
That's really neat. I see it comes under his beard and stuff too, which is really cool. Yeah, this is just another. I love that awesome
the rips
belt.
in the clothing and stuff is so cool, and the dirt, like the the weathering on the bottom of the cloth goods and the cape and stuff. It just looks so good. Yeah.
I love the helmet too. That helmet's really
Yeah.
cool.
Mm.
Yeah,
This is a
That's a hat, Curtis.
okay. It's a hat. Len loves hats. So
I love calling helmets hats. It makes me laugh every time.
yeah, it's I like I said, I feel like there's a lot of synergy between, you know, those skeletons that we've seen in this lineup. That I just feel like when you put them together, they're just going to look so good.
Well,
but at the same time, how
Yeah.
this is just such a home run. Like this is like
Oh, yeah.
a named character that like he'll be front and center in your display as just the hardest skeleton out of all of them, you know?
Well, one of the things I'm most excited for, and you know, I'll little sneak preview. Next week, there's going to be an article on the website being posted about the 6 children of Necronominus. So, you know, we started this with Belualith, you know, exploring additional children of Necronominus beyond the original 3 that we all know. And, you know, when we first saw Beridak saying like, ooh, is that a child of Necronominus? And then I love the idea of twins that look nothing alike. I always think that's fun. So Belualith and Beridak being the twins and being the youngest 2, and then Thrasis being the eldest. You know, I'm so excited for that display, for the 6 children of Necronominus, because visually they are so distinctly different looking. Being able to put all 6 of the, you know, that family together, I think is going to make such an incredibly cool display. And, you know, thinking about these characters, like when we wrote the bio for Thrasis, you know, imagining him being the first through that portal as he's recalled back to Mythos, and then taking back command of, you know, Necronominus's armies and everything, taking that from Morgulith, who has served in that position since their banishment. All of these storyline elements get me so excited for the characters themselves. And him and Beridak are 2 that I really am excited for in this wave.
Kirby here says the story of this guy taking over Morgulith's role sounds like it's ripe for drama and intrigue. I have to agree with that.
It could be, but one of the things that's really interesting is, you know, I heard on the Euro Legions podcast them saying that, you know, Necronominus has very Egyptian-like elements to the design, and I don't know how intentional that is. You know, a big part of the design of Necronominus was meant to be very religious looking. You know, the congregation, that's one of the elements through that faction, is that there is a lot of religious, you know, undertones to that his children and his, you know, followers, they're supplicants. They are, you know, devoted in a very fanatical, you know, they're zealots for his teachings and stuff. So would Morgulith be upset that her brother is taking over, or is this just, you know, a bishop stepping aside for a pope? I don't know.
Gotcha. Joe's got a good thing here. He says wants Trevor to do a family dinner shot with
what would they be eating?
I don't know. People.
What does a skeleton eat?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Skeleton.
And where does it go?
Bar.
That's true.
Skeleton eats whatever it wants.
Maybe they just ask for a drink and
maybe they just drink wine. I don't know. But finish off with this one. Got all these extra parts too. Obviously that shield, which is amazing. I didn't realize that he came with bone feet. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Got an extra set of feet with the ankle pegs too.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah. And then look at this shot from Trevor. Just another amazing one.
His jaw is articulated, right, Jeremy? If I remember correctly.
It is.
Yep.
Cool.
And you can see there in that shot, you can see his right hand, how he has actually got that bracer that we were talking about.
Yeah. I think my favorite part in this figure is all the bones sticking out of the soft goods. It's so cool. And then he's another one with a beard, but it's like a, you know, it's not a perfect beard. It's a A very gross beard, which I like.
Probably.
Yep. And all of this, $4.95. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Just crazy. So that's the wave, guys. What other thoughts? Sean, overall?
Overall, I don't want to say this tops the Necronominus wave for me, but man, is it a 1-2 punch of both of those waves, because it's a joy to see the skeletons having all their skeleton limbs finally, and all of that like tattered soft goods and stuff. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I was hoping we'd eventually get to, and now we're here, and it did not disappoint in any way, shape, or form for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trevor?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that these were, were not rejected from Necronominus, but couldn't, they wanted to keep things, tighter scale for that wave, and it's just like move these out. I'm glad that these got, because it feels like one big wave. You know what I mean? It's so close to the heels of that, and none of it feels like a leftover. Like oh yeah, I'd have a hard time. Like if you said which one, I mean, Necronominus is really cool, and I love Beluolith, so I'd have to give it the nod to that wave. But like this is really close. It's really close as to which one is the best, but it feels like one big wave to me. It feels.
I
like
had heard some people say that they were like predicting that these were going to be like, these were the ones that weren't good enough to make the cut for the Necronomicon wave.
No,
and like the reveals tonight that I saw, there was nothing in there that I would say wasn't good enough to be a Necronominus wave.
No, you could have swapped any of those out.
Yes, it was right on par. In fact, there's some stuff in here that I like better than I like the Necronominus wave. So that skeleton raider, I didn't think that I was going to like a skeleton more than Maxilius, and then that skeleton raider, I was like, that's my perfect skeleton. That's exactly what
close
I want.
one. Yeah, I know.
And then I didn't think that there was going to be a Templar I'd like better than Sir Elijah, and then they hit me with one tonight. So, it's just when you think they're going to go left, they go right, and hit you right in the face. David, thoughts on the wave?
I love that all the All-Stars are picks that I had, characters I don't have, and then just a whole wave that's just more skeletons that are better than any skeletons out on the market, and more knights that have more personality, that it just kind of adds to the whole display. It's an excellent wave. I'm super excited about it. Oh, and the belts. Yeah, and the belts.
Come on.
I think I can't even imagine how many of those I'm going to need. Like, I just want to put belts.
I think everybody's going to be replacing every belt on pretty much every figure. I mean, what is there?
They're going to count their figures, and they're going to figure out how many belt packs, and they're going to realize that it's just a ridiculous number that they're going to buy.
Well, there's 5 belts in the pack, right? I mean, belts. There's the arm pieces too, but there's 5 belts.
Oh no! Wait, how many are in there?
Right? Aren't there 5?
Hold on.
Like they're 5 belts, but then there's 2 shoulder
7
pieces, right?
7 belts.
Well, those are shoulder. I mean, you've got the shoulder pieces too.
I
right?
got it. There's 2 of them are. Actually, I think only one of them is a shoulder belt. Really, I mean.
Oh, is it?
Well, that one.
Yeah, this one's a waist. Yeah.
Oh, is that a waist belt? Okay.
This one's just a shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the.
Okay, so you got 6 belts.
Mm-hmm.
And I got
200 figures.
No, like yeah. Okay, yeah. There's gonna be you're gonna need a lot of these.
yeah. They need like a dozen pack of the belts.
You're gonna need a
dozen belt packs in black.
Yeah,
and dozen in brown.
Not to mention they're $12. That's not bad.
No, especially for painted with all the details.
Yeah. So that's
less than $2 a belt. I mean,
and that was a hard one to price because we have no precedent for it. It's like, how much do we charge for 7 little plastic belts? Like, it felt weird to put a number on that, but I mean, there is actually a decent amount of paint detail on that. It's going to take some time to paint all those little buckles and everything. So
I think they're underpriced.
So does Chris.
Honestly, I think you could charge double this for those, and I think people would be like, "Hell yeah, give me
Under $2
20 of them."
a
Sure.
belt. That's
Oh, there's
No, it's good.
there's definitely a market for it, and
Oh yeah.
we're all
So-
gonna.
A question for those of you buying belts. You're buying equal amounts of the black and the brown, or are you buying
Ooh,
more
good
of one than
question.
the other?
I'm gonna have to go through and see what goes with what figure. You know what I mean?
I think to be safe, I'll buy an even number of both,
Yeah.
and then probably
You might
run
more-
out of some.
Hmm.
You know, but I'm kind of a brown belt person. Like I
Yeah.
prefer brown belt in fantasy most of the time.
Yeah, black's a little too formal, right? I mean, it's just a little.
Oh yeah.
I
But,
think
you
I'm
know, all the
probably
vampires are going to have to
That's
have
for
black
nighttime
belts.
raids. That's for after 6
Yeah.
raids, basically. Yeah.
my initial thought is that I need a dozen belt packs, and so I'm thinking, 6 of each. But that's like David was saying earlier. It's one of those things that you're probably going to, as the month goes on, you're going to go, I probably need 2 more. Give me
it's
one
just-
more, and just keep adding.
Yep.
You just tell yourself every time, you're like, it's $12, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't eat
Yep.
out today. I'm just going to get a belt pack.
Yeah.
Well, I know that when I got hands packs in the Aether wave, you know, because that was the first time we had done that. And I remember getting them in and like saying, like, oh my God, I have all these hands. What am I going to do with all these? And then before I knew it, I was out.
Yeah.
I need more hands because it was so just to replace them on existing orcs or, you know, to use them for customs. It's something that I found myself using frequently, not only to upgrade what I had, but also in new ideas. So I think that the belts are
Yeah.
going to be something similar where they're going to go very, very quickly once you start using them.
And then
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
with the hands, you wanted to paint those too to match different armors and stuff like that. Same thing with the belts. You might want to do a red belt or something like that. So you know.
Well, like I was saying, that the knights in this wave come with so many hands. It's like the Dubon thing where I have so many leather hands now that I can use them for all my customs or replacing leather hands for armored hands or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to put this out there. I would love to see a hand pack for the early knight hands. But I mean, I guess you could kind of swap out these for those. Because
Yeah, they're a
if
little-
they match, I guess
Well,
you could actually.
They're
There
kinda
is a
not
knight's
great.
hand pack. There is a knight's hand pack in the Necronominus wave.
No, I know that, but like that kind of matches the early armored hands. But I'm thinking
Oh,
like
okay.
maybe you don't even
I
need that
I
because
see
you
what
could
you mean.
just. Yeah, but that's only
Hey,
to match
Jesse.
like the style. You wouldn't really have to match the style as long as the color matched. That would be good.
How's it going,
Yeah.
Jesse?
What's up, Jesse?
man?
It's going all right.
How was D&D?
D&D was a lot of fun.
Beautiful. We're
Did you
just
slay
talking
the
about
dragon?
this awesome wave.
I got to turn into a tiger and kill a couple of undead orcs.
Beauty.
Very nice.
Well, Bill Dranowski is in the chat, and he did the math for us. So we need 33 packs of belts packs. So
Okay, 33
So there you
times.
go.
Now do the math for that. 33
times
times
12.
is-
All right. So in case you haven't seen it, Jesse,
Wow.
we got belts packs.
I pulled up Source Horseman while I was waiting to come on. So
That'll be
Yeah.
$400 in belts.
Yes.
yes, on Curtis's second, third, and fourth order.
Yeah. I just need to give me belts and Templars. No, there's too much other good stuff in there. Well, we will definitely keep going, but is there anybody who needs to drop off? Are you guys good? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to bail.
Okay.
I just wanted to, mention because you were saying earlier about, liking Maxilius. You didn't think you'd like a skeleton more, and then you got the Raider. One of the things that I think we really tried to do, and I think we accomplished with this, was adding figures to this wave that complement the figures in that previous Necronominus wave. And what we tried to show with some of those images for, some of the Photoshops, seeing Sir Enoch with Sir Elijah and how, those figures are going to mix and match, put them side by side. All of these bones that are painted in the standard bone color, being able to combine those skeleton raiders with that Maxilius, because they do come with those slightly different bone pieces, and then being able to just put some armored legs and stuff like that, you're going to be able to really get an incredible variety of skeletons, of zombies. So that's one of the things that I'm most excited for for these two waves, when you look at them together, is, you know, as David was saying, it's two very, very strong waves. But being able to mix and match all those pieces once both of the waves are in. And as I said at the end of the special, the fact that all of this was sculpted with Necronominus, which means it was all sent to the factory, it's all going through that same tooling process, will, you know, allow us to get this wave out there faster than a wave with similar amounts of new tooling would actually be. Because for us, even though it's new for fans, it's something that we sent a while ago. So that's one of the things that I'm most excited for here.
As you were talking through that, the picture that you showed of like this guy, you know, next to Sir Uksak, like, once you get these two waves and you put them together, the visuals from some of this stuff is just going to be amazing. So cool. Well, we appreciate you joining, Jeremy. Awesome reveal special tonight. You guys never cease to amaze us. And this is just an amazing wave. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Old man Jeremy's going to go to bed.
That's all right, man. You have a good one.
Solid gold, Jeremy. Solid gold.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all your support.
So, Jesse, have you looked through this yet? Is there anything that stuck out to you initially?
Everything?
It's so good, isn't it?
There's, I mean, yeah, just seeing this, it's like Necronominus, just part 2.
Right.
Like
yeah,
I'm still just trying to process taking this all in. I haven't even gotten to read any of the descriptions and stuff, but
yeah, this guy Ogre Scale is just so amazing. Like, I love that sword, and like, we already talked through these guys, but it's just, some of these are just so awesome. The Templar, this guy, the amount of stuff that this guy comes with for $37. There was no deluxe in here. It was just the ogre, the horse, and then everything else. All the single figures were 37, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed
That's
that.
crazy. And then like this guy, so good.
I'll lie. I did read his and the ogre, and realizing that they're more of Necronominus's kids.
Yep.
I think that's cool that there's 6, including Necronominus, makes 7. So all that religious symbolism is there. It's just, this is just really cool. Even the All Stars just look like they belong in this wave.
Do they though?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, when you look at the color palette that's going through this whole thing, like, they don't.
Reds
I don't
and
think
silvers and
none of them.
browns. Yeah.
None of them stand out as being like. If I didn't know they were All Stars, I would think they just were part of this wave.
But you can almost, like, there's nothing. It's nothing against Sir Ignatius, but I mean, it's a first wave figure, like, and it's like, you look at that, it's happens to be right next to a Templar. Like, he's not a Templar, I understand, but like, just, you could see the evolution right there. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's
or
it's
like,
right
look
there.
at this, like, Skeleton Raider compared to Clavian, like.
Yeah, if they were right next to each other. Yeah, same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, it's
same
like,
thing.
Yeah, but when
I still like Clavian.
Me and Sean and David and Trevor and you all stand next to each other, like, we don't all look like we're from the same mold. So
no, I get it. It's just, I guess for me, it's getting to a point where you can only display so much, and
you're not
I
trying
almost
hard
would
enough.
rather display the new stuff than the old stuff. You know,
Well, I mean,
like,
it
I'm really
sucks to
thinking
suck.
about selling off some of my older figures that just aren't as detailed. Like, especially the ones that aren't like huge name characters. But I don't know. This thing's just awesome, and the amount of value on all this stuff. And that's the other thing. Like, I understand, like, the tooling and stuff has been different. We got new parts and stuff, but just the amount of, like, when you think about, like, this is a $37 figure versus like this is a $37 figure, right? Like, the amount of stuff that we're getting with this thing now, that they're just like Jeremy was saying, they basically just look at it and go, throw in some extra hands, throw in a couple extra belts, put some soft goods with this. And what's the price? $37. It's just amazing.
But again, that's
stuff that
it's a testament to the volume and the amount of people who are collecting these things now, which is great. Like, again, like you said, like, the just being able to do more, you get the price down at the factory for for that. And when they were starting out that first wave, I mean, there was the people who ordered the Kickstarter. It was a very successful Kickstarter, but it wasn't nearly the volume that of people who are ordering them now. So you know, and I'm sure, you know, Eric has. I mean, every artist evolves over time. He's just evolved his skills too. You know what I mean, and been able to put stuff together like this.
Like
this is an engineering feat right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what one of the things I was going to say is like last year at Intern, he said that, you know, he basically spent the previous year just learning how to sculpt every bone in the human body, and like, and we're talking every bone, like every single bone, like you know, you look at like that Maxilius one, and it's like he got it all. So yeah, I just love this stuff. This pose that you got with the mace too, so good.
Yeah, it's like classic skeleton warrior pose.
Like I love you, Trevor, but I also am mad at you because now I've got to buy more of this. So yeah.
You're welcome, and I'm sorry.
Your fault. It's 100% your fault.
It is 100% your fault. Look at this pose. How can I not buy multiples of this? It's totally Trevor's fault.
I need a T-shirt that says "I'm sorry" and "You're welcome."
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're not like vast improvements over the early stuff, but like they, to me, they all. I mean, this isn't like putting a you know, a Masterverse figure next to your Mythic Legions.
No,
and saying,
no,
this works as a port. You know,
they still look.
You know, they all have their charm, man. I mean, I wanted Clavian. I mean, I still want all the old stuff. Yes, for completionist reasons, but still, I do like them. I still like them. I mean, I'm not going to put away all my old skeleton figures just because I'm going to be mixing them. You know what I mean? So,
if anything,
both will fit in with the dwarves.
Of my older non-mythic stuff to make more space.
Trevor's
that's the other thing.
1/6 stuff.
Well, I don't know about that, but Marvel Legends are looking a little long in the tooth over there, so we'll see. I don't know.
Somebody go and trademark 1/12 shooter right now.
I think somebody already has that. Quite frankly.
My non-mythic display has gotten smaller with every wave that comes out.
Yeah.
The mythic stuff. You know, I go to Target and I'm like, I don't need it, so I don't buy it.
Yeah.
You know.
And then Cosmic is right around the
Cosmic,
corner.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a whole thing.
I really don't know where this is gonna go, man.
I don't know either.
I'm at the point where I'm putting stuff in baggies and putting them in like, you know, not throwing in a bin, but I have these little drawers and stuff like that I put them in, and I'm like, I'm not collecting these anymore. You know what I mean? They're in a drawer. It's not part of a collection. You know what I mean? I just have it. It's just there. It's taking up space, and I should just get rid of it. That's the next step.
I got a question, since I did not get to see any of this until I sat down at this computer. For Deacon the horse. Is that I mean, there's a
Valius.
separate. Well, no, but the red under the saddle, there's two separate pieces, right? There's a soft goods version.
Well, that's what I was saying. We should have asked Jeremy was here, because I don't remember. I didn't take it apart, because taking that with any of these things, taking that
though is what he's talking about. Like,
no, but that is the original one that came with it. Yeah.
Right. So they basically, what they did, Jesse, was they included the pieces in case you missed out on Balius and wanted to make a Balius. So they included all of that stuff extra, so you can take off the other stuff and put that.
But that's not what's in the picture is a soft goods piece, and I think that's separate from the quilt. I don't think that's stitched to the quilt. I don't believe.
Okay.
So you could take that off if you wanted to. You could use just that without the quilting and all that on the dressage, Bill, if you're still here.
And then add his toupee in. They called it a toupee, the little hairpiece.
The toupee.
Yeah. You could throw his toupee on.
I believe that is the main.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just because it, pops in there. So, but yeah. So if you needed an extra Balius, there's one, but with extra soft goods. So, because I think I'm going to take that off and put it on the Boreas. So, but
yeah, this will be the only one I probably just get one of. I love the mounts, but they take up so much space.
They do.
But I'll get one of each.
I was telling myself if there was a horse, I wasn't going to get it, and then they put out a Templar horse, and
Oh yeah.
I'm a liar.
I tell that I say that every release. I'm like, I just don't need any more mounts, man. And then I buy one.
God, I love this guy. I just want this guy to make me choose a chalice to drink from. So I want to, even if he tells me I chose poorly, I just want to hear it.
I like the soft goods flags. Like I've been hoping that they would switch over to that.
No, there's with this. Was it? Which one was that with? Oh yeah, it was with this guy. He's got the soft good flag, right?
Yeah.
Him and the
yeah.
Horde.
Yeah, this is my favorite in the wave. That shield is cool. Rad. I love that he comes with extra feet and extra hands.
Just that whole rotten soft goods over the torso and everything, and that little, is there fur up under his head?
Yeah, it's like a fur piece here and it wraps around to the backside too.
And that helmet is freaking amazing.
Yeah, Jeremy called it a hat. I called it a helmet. He told me it's a hat. So, but yeah, just the tattered look and yeah, this guy's cool. I think all three the skeletons look really good.
Yeah, that
obviously this one insane. For the Well, I don't know if you caught from it, but they're like different races too. Like there's a gorilla, you got a vampire, orc, lion, wolf, and then a couple like zombie ghoulish ones. So, but basically these 5 are new, and then the 2 at the bottom are repaints.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. And then the all-in price for everything is $495. So
insane,
amazing value. So, all right. Well, what else, guys?
Actually, I just remember it's called a comparison. It's not dressage, so I was wrong. So seven times. It's comparison. I don't know why I kept mixing that up in my head. But yeah,
dressage is the type of riding.
Yeah. It's a.
I mean, you only said dressage like 12 times, so I don't think
that's all right. Nobody's ever going to notice.
Yeah, nobody watches this show.
No, that's right. Let's just go around. It'll disappear into history. It'll be fun.
Anybody have anything in the chat? Any questions? Anything you guys want us to discuss? Jesse, I know you missed most of the discussion. Anything else that you'd like to talk about or bring up or questions?
I mean, I'm still trying to absorb it all in.
Drinking from a fire.
I feel like a lot of the things people predicted have hit. You know, dwarf skeleton, armor or stuff showing exposed bones, full skeleton warrior, no version 2s.
Nope, no version 2.
No, yeah, I kept seeing people saying that. I'm like,
I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't redo Morgulith, because I love that figure, and not that they couldn't improve with more detail and sculpture, but I think she's great as she is. And I couldn't imagine her holding the faction shield. So seeing this new guy, this new sibling, be the one to come with the shield is really cool.
Yeah.
I'd still like to see them redo her as a 2.0. I think she could be. I like her. I like her a lot. I think she's a good looking.
And then this one, they said on the stream, Joe Vaspolo designed this one, and he with help from his son. So between the two of them, they kind of came up with the scheme for this one, and his name is Sir Andrew, which is his son's name, and he's kind of got. I called him a paladin, but what did they say he was? It was
it's a pyromancer.
Pyromancer. Yep.
Yeah. So like that just is badass right there.
Yeah, that shot is awesome. Like that pose and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that kind of winged cloak.
Yeah, yeah, in the back. Yeah.
I could really use a black version of that right now for a custom I'm working on.
Yeah, I like how there's the winged pauldrons and then it goes down into the winged cloak. And there's even like some stuff on the front, like it comes down. There's some like wing parts down here too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't care about the gold part being gold, then you could definitely dye that though, Jesse. You know what I mean? You could easily dye that black.
Well, I can't wait for this to come out to do the custom I'm working on.
He's on a time schedule.
I gotta have it done for Legions Con.
And then all of this.
Are you doing? I think I know what you're doing. Did you say what you were doing?
I don't know. I might have before. I don't care if you say it, but I'm not showing it.
Is this a Vox Machina? Are you doing a Vox
Yep.
Machina?
Yep.
I knew it. I looked at that cake and I'm like, I know what that's for. I know why he needs that in black.
That's funny.
And I love how much more realistic the weapons are getting, like to like real world style weapons. I love the fantasy ones, but I like that they're leaning into these more the realistic dimensions and like the styles of like the dirks and the hammers and all that stuff is really cool.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the new daggers. I think the new dagger is so cool.
Get a hold of CJ, see if he can get you one in black, Jesse.
I'll cobble something together.
Yeah, I still like some of the old stuff. Like it was things like the hammer, like Hadriana, like the hammer always seemed a little unwieldy and a little unrealistic to me. But I mean, not Attila's, what do you call
Fake?
that? No, but like, well, yeah, the fake, but it's like, what are they calling those? Not the magical weapons, but the mythical weapons, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That something like that is one thing, but like to have like just a big giant hammer, like some of the dwarves had stuff. I love this. Like this looks.
Yeah.
I just love the way that looks, man. That looks.
I'm glad they put that hammer
like
with
a real weapon. You know.
Mm-hmm.
My brother used to do, or still does, the SCA reenactment stuff, and he would always bring me, like, give me his old like weapons catalogs when he was done with them. So I would just spend hours like looking over these things, and so seeing like that hammer, that like warhammer with like the spike on the back, and then the pommel with the flail at the end of it is just like you were just had up, is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
that one.
This one. Wait,
the one you just had up. The one the dwarf was holding.
This one here?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like that's based on like actual like real weapons. Like
gotcha.
Or at least
it's not like a giant mallet on top of it's getting a little more
like
real.
As cool as it is seeing like the people with the massive weapons, those giant axes and swords, like they're
like Thump looks great with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But
like that, like if you go back and watch Braveheart, there's a scene where someone from the Scots bashes one of the British knights in the helmet, and it is one of the most sickening head thump sound effects I have ever heard in a movie. It's fantastic.
It is rough. Those
I think I'm gonna watch Braveheart tomorrow.
That's just, I mean, it's so cool. I love the beard. I love the nasty beard.
The color of that armor too is just beautiful.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I love that.
And as for,
I wouldn't mind seeing a braid cut off that beard or something like that, just a little less, less even. But yeah. But it's still
a lot of people tend to want to complain about the beards on the dwarves. I'm like, there's orcs and goblins in this world. We can check some of that disbelief at the door.
The beard.
They're also they're undead skeletons walking around. Like, how often do you see real skeletons walking around the real world? Anyway, like, come on, the beard's okay.
Just not very often.
Like, I don't want every skeleton to have a beard.
Like, that's going to be a heavy sword, right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be heavy to wield around.
But if this was an anime, this is what like the 5'7", 125-pound hero is running around with on his back. Which is fine, but for that, oh man, this is
it's an amazing wave. It's almost too amazing. Like, I don't want it to be this good, because I know with it is going to come some very tough decisions in terms of purchasing.
That's how I feel about it. Is how many of each is really truly reasonable. or do I need, or how, because I have to have one of everybody, like in their
Yeah.
regular formation, everything. But then, some of these guys, I just want to switch the head,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but got to buy a full figure for that. And then,
Well, now I
Mhm.
definitely want to buy at least a second Conobus and some other one of the evil horses that has like the shriveled heads to make a mount for Thrasis.
Yeah. I was saying during
Shoot, man,
I
he
was
could
just saying
ride it.
this,
He
I
could
was
ride a
saying-
dinosaur. Why not?
Does the Equidron head work on a horse?
Yep.
No,
I
it
just did
does?
that last week. Yeah.
I think I might have an
I was
extra
saying,
one of those
like,
if you need it.
Okay.
I don't know if I was saying it here or I was saying it somewhere else, but it was. I mean, you could take that. Did I say this earlier? I don't know.
What?
Take that you want a Balius and you buy that thing for $65 and sell the comparison for $40 to somebody, man. Like you can get a horse for $30 at $25, man. It's crazy.
See, I'm the reverse. Like I don't want the Balius. I just want the comparison.
Well, we'll work out a
even
deal
better.
Curtis,
Like you
'cause
could
I
sell
want
sell
more
the
of the horses
Balius.
than I want the comparisons.
Yeah, you could sell that Belius for $35-$40 easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need another.
What about
horse.
methamphetamines, Joe? What?
What's going on?
This is Joe's saying something about methamphetamines. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Dwarf without a beard is like an elf without pointy ears. Okay. I mean, so they never shave ever? Like there's no would they lose their powers or what?
No, yeah, I think you can have dwarves
it's a
without
cultural
beards.
thing.
I just don't mind some skeletal things having beards.
Yeah, but we were talking earlier, like on both are because you can't see the details of his chest. That like because he has that really ornate chest, that the way that they paint it, but you can't see it because his beard covers it. So I was saying like it would be cool to put a dwarf head with a shorter beard or even God forbid no beard. And yeah, the dwarf fans told me that I was wrong.
I mean, clearly they're not paying attention to the own figures because Cavern Dwarf or the Bronze Dwarf that doesn't have a beard.
Unless it's tucked into that mask somehow, I don't know.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, and magic, Jesse.
Could be just mutton chops, right? It's got those two little chops.
There you go. Okay, real life bog mummies have been found with their hair still attached. So you think a beard on a skull is fine? Okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
I could see
Might
that.
not be as full, but it's fantasy. It's fantasy.
His skeletons walking around in real life. You got Joe with that one.
You know, right?
It's actually insulting to shave a dwarf's beard. Okay.
I mean, have we said that in Mythos? Like, all fantasy tropes don't transcend all fantasy settings.
Kevin said it's
I agree with that too.
Like
it's like we all have to go by the tokenized.
Because in what was that one? The Artemis Fowl books, the dwarves, their beards were so rigid. Once you pluck it out, they could use it to like lockpick, because the beards actually grew out of the bones. I think in that book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gross.
Handy though.
Handy.
Yeah, Cavern Dwarf did
handy.
Cavern Dwarf did have a bearded and unbearded. Well, but I don't. Once again, I don't know if it's unbearded or just tucked somewhere.
True, it did.
The Bronze Dwarf didn't.
Yeah. Cool.
I like that we got the matching pauldron for the Barbarian. Skull pauldron.
Yeah.
Sean was
now, what did you say, Sean? Who did you have with that? Is it Atlas?
Adamon. I love that. I love that just as like the gray skull almost tribute there, and now I can have he's even. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
So
he'll have both sides.
I actually just made a right shoulder one for a goblin custom.
Oh yeah,
It's
How'd
not
you
as
do it?
nice. I just
Oh,
ripped
salted
the
it?
I just ripped the strap off and glued it the opposite way.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that we got another Calavius, the helmeted head too. That gladiator one. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't
Yeah.
have that head. I have
Yeah?
Calavius, and I don't have that head anymore somehow.
Oh, is his have that? I know it has something at the top. Does it have that full skull shape there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
it's just painted a
I
little
may
bit
have an
different.
extra one of those, David, if you need it.
Do you really?
Yeah,
I got mine with a head, and he's pretty nice looking, so I kind of like that guy. You know.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
got mine
those.
with the not Otho planetary dog head.
Yeah, that's what this guy is.
Oh yeah, have these all been added in? Yep. Okay. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, see, he's got the.
Yeah, that thing's
yeah I'm
awesome.
pretty sure I have an
See, that
extra
one
one of
looks-
those too.
That one looks more skeletal. The one in the maybe it's just
Just
the
a paint
angle.
job. Yeah.
It looks more the one on the Raider looks more like still
Solid.
decomposing. Like it doesn't look as fully skeletal across the mouth, at least on my screen.
Gotcha.
It's a pretty crappy resolution.
You know, sometimes the pictures don't do it justice.
Nah. Oh.
For fuck's sake. All right. Good night.
I think
No.
when I say a picture doesn't do something justice in the Mythic Legions world, I think it has to do with like holding these things.
There is.
Yeah,
a
I know what it
magic
means.
to
I
get 'em
know,
in
I
your
know.
hand. Yeah.
But
It is a
truly,
different
I
thing.
think that's like the biggest thing is like, man, once you pick up one of these things, it's a totally different thing than just an action figure. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as much like a toy.
And
That's how I've gotten
had the
so many
reverse
people, man.
from other toy lines. Like I've had other toy lines that you get it out of the packaging, you hold it, and like this is just not impressive. But there's something about Mythic Legions that you
Or
get
you
it out of the
pre-order
packaging,
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
Like
this is even better than I
the
thought.
worst, the Super 7, the worst.
Yeah.
I was really
Yeah.
excited for those, and I took them out. I was like, oh, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, you
Kinda like,
you pre-order
really
the
is the worst.
CG
it
rendering.
looked really good
You know?
based on the renderings, and I guess they have a
Exactly.
couple pictures, but
Yeah.
Oh man, that evil eye crotch belt on the ogre scale is pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I think sick.
Yeah,
It's
I
almost
love
got like
his,
a
Whole chest piece is
centipede.
insane, too.
Almost like centipede type legs around the middle of that red eye, and then the snake at the top. Man,
yeah, this guy is just super imposing.
Yeah.
did you say there were pictures of him next to Sir Uksak?
In the live reveal, they showed a
Okay.
side by side. It was a Photoshop side by side, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, they look like night and day next to each
They're
other.
gonna look good, like clashing, man. It's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
so
I love
cool.
the pipe organ bones on the back of his piece at the top.
It's nuts. He was the scariest one because all those little pieces, man. And like I said, he fell over once, and I was like, "Oh my god, no!" Nothing
Oh,
broke.
no.
I don't know how nothing broke.
He's thick, bro. Like yeah.
But that damn faction shield came from those guys. I opened it up, and two of the little legs, the tiny little spindly legs, were broken off. I'm like,
Uh,
Oh yeah.
son of a bitch, man.
Oh.
He's got I didn't notice that he's got the Noble Bark
Yeah.
shield.
That thing's
Yep.
cool.
Great paint job on that too. It's very cool.
I guess I didn't notice because there's no pictures with him holding it. So.
Nah, because he can't. Because his arms just fall off, or his hands fall off, or the tusks on that thing fall off. So yeah, no, that's not happening.
Yeah, just lay it down.
Plus, in the pictures, it's like, the shields. I had to show the faction shield, but like it does cut off a lot of the figure too. So
This like skull with the wings is just so awesome.
such a great, yeah, it's so cool.
I love that.
Yeah, like I said, that thing is just like the coolest Dark Knight, like just kind of like destroyer. That thing is awesome.
I almost wish he wasn't like a named character that was a child of Necronominus, because I would love to have like 2 of these just like standing guard outside of a castle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he
But-
looks like that thing you just bring in, like everything's, you attack the castle, things are going well, but then you have a setback. It's like, all right, bring him in.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
goes in.
Well, this is
It's
like,
like,
Zombie
oh
Mountain
shit, we
from
were
Game
winning
of
for a
Thrones,
second
but
there. Damn it.
Yeah.
on steroids.
Yeah.
The
Like,
hole
all
in
right.
the skull on the top of his helmet.
We've tried fighting with the lions long enough. Let's form Voltron. Come on, guys. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
the lion thing didn't work for the first 28 minutes of the show. Let's form Voltron for the last 2
It
minutes.
never seems to either. Like, we really ultimately always have to form Voltron. I don't know why we
Right.
just don't do that in the first place, really.
I gotta love it. Well,
That's so cool.
anything else you guys want to talk about, Mythic Legion or otherwise?
I got one.
Go ahead.
What's up?
All right, so I'm looking at this sword, and it's got a dragon skull on it.
On the big guy?
Yeah, at the hilt, the center.
Okay.
The dragon's got to be a bad guy when they make it, right?
If they make one, they're gonna make 2. So you're gonna have.
I know,
an
but the
evil
first
dragon
one's got to
and a
be
good
the
dragon.
first one's got to be evil, right? Like it's got to be like an evil,
I mean,
like black or red.
yeah,
dragon.
generally. I mean, like, what's the fun in a good dragon, really? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love
I'm a
Meat
helpful dragon. It's like,
I-
no.
But
I
it could
love-
also,
Toothless, but for mythics, it's got to be something evil.
it's got to, I think
Yeah.
it'll probably be a bad dragon that compromises both sides, or an evil dragon.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be like, they'll find a common ground in fighting this massive monster,
Because like, Phobos has kind of like a dragon-like head on her harness, her tack, or his tack, whatever he is.
Yeah.
Almost like a Skeksis-like
Mhm.
head, dragony
Yeah.
looking thing. And it just seems like a lot of the only people that seem to have very dragon themed stuff on the good guys is Rhaegor.
Yeah.
Just saying,
Yeah,
what
it's
if
going to
the
be
Dark
interesting to see how they
Four
work that
join
in.
together to make the Voltron dragon.
That could happen. Greg said that this guy would be no problem. Just hold his blunt and he'll take care of it.
So that's interesting. We could have Erethir's wings. You could use elements from the 4.
I mean, because there was
Could be
wasn't-
black
there
and
was-
purple, and it could be.
Maybe they learned in exile. They somehow learned how to reach out to the worlds before Mythos, and that's where the dragon comes from. Or
Well, I really liked in Jeremy's story that he read this week, The Covenant of Shadows, where they talked about like that was their downfall the last time, was that they didn't work together. And so
Yeah.
now like the factions are talking about, the evil factions are talking about working together. So yeah, maybe that's how they do it. Maybe they, combine forces and summon some dragon.
I could also see that being a next. Like, I mean, obviously, there's going to have to be some. The old gods are going to have to come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, no inside knowledge here. I would assume that some of these guys. I mean, assuming just for the sheer fact that you can't get Aetheron without spending $300 or $400, there might be an
Well,
Aetheron 2.0. There might be the old gods 2.0. We don't even have Leodicius, right?
Yeah.
We
Well, it
don't know what
seems
he
like-
looked
or
like, so-
Basilia.
It seems like
Or Basilia.
the way they're releasing these waves seems to be telling the story. And at this
Yep.
point, the big bads just got back. So the great beasts are no longer there. So it's like
Right.
until until the bad guys kind of take over, we won't see the great beasts. So I think that we got
Right.
another wave or two at least before we'll see a great beast at all.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting at. Like, so, but if that happens, maybe that's the next story or something that
Exactly.
I
dragons come in, and that's the next problem
don't
for
see
Mythos.
us making through next
Yeah,
year
exactly.
without a dragon. Like next year is the year of the dragon. Four Horsemen have a couple different anniversaries next year. I just don't see us making it through 2024 without having a dragon revealed. That's just my.
I'm sure they'd like to. Yeah, I'm sure they would like to.
How they fit it in
it's
the
gotta
story,
be.
I have no idea, but I just feel like
Mhm.
they've got to do that next year.
Yeah, I
So,
think if
It could be.
I think it'll all
It could be a
come down to
neutral party
logistics.
dragon too.
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's just its own force to be reckoned with, and the bad guys and the good guys have to come together to fight it.
come together.
Could be.
Right now.
Maybe not all of the good guys, or the bad guys. I mean,
Or you have to convince it that your side is right and get it to fight for you. They're finicky, I don't know.
Well, we have everybody still here. Just FYI, we appreciate you guys joining us on Offworld Night for our after party. Please hit that subscribe button. We do a show every week. Every other week, we do a numbered show where we actually have kind of agenda, and then our off weeks, we kind of just shoot the shit and see what's going on. But we got something every Friday, and we'd love for you guys to come back and join us. So anybody that's joining us for the first time, we'd love to see you again. So just want to throw that out there. Jesse, Sean, you got any words of wisdom from the Offworld crew?
don't eat lead.
That's a good
Good.
one.
Good advice.
Let it be.
Unless you're trying to make sure
Let
that
it be.
Superman can't see through you, because then he can't see through lead.
Anybody picking these guys up? Awok?
Oh
I
yeah.
have
Not
not.
yet. Not yet.
Whoa, how do you already have that guy? Are you shooting him right now?
Yeah.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that line. I'm really
Yeah,
happy
I
with
do
it.
too, man. I really dig it.
There's certain lines that I'm trying to avoid just because I know I would get sucked into them, and that's one of them.
Yeah, you would. You would.
Underlings, AWOC,
Yeah, they're
like
awesome.
I'm like, no.
But there's
don't
other
go.
lines that he just flies right by.
Yep.
Yeah.
not Mayfex though. I got the Mayfex bug bad right now. So
Yeah.
Oof.
For what? For Marvel?
Marvel, DC, like
Oh,
I
really?
just love Mayfex right now.
Yeah.
I have a few that I'm just sitting on. I just have Dark Knight Returns stuff.
I hope they do an indie like SHF does, man, because
That'd be cool.
the SHF looks nice, but I really like Mayfex better than SHF, just for scale purposes and stuff. Yeah, these guys are cool though, man. You get into them. They're not as customizable, pop and swappable as Mythic Legions, but they are very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're real fun to pose. They're another toy line that feels real
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah, they are fun to pose, for sure.
Yeah.
And they can hold poses too. They're really good.
Yeah, real well.
Nice. You guys have any pickups this week? Anything new that you got?
I got all the
So
War of
much.
the Aether Blade stuff. I ended up trading some stuff for the actual like builders because I didn't order any of those. And I think that's it. I haven't bought anything in a while, man. I'm just kind of just holding out for Mythic and Cosmic stuff.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, nothing out there real super interesting to me lately. I saw an Alf in the store and I almost bought him, but
Alf is
Everybody loves
great.
that elf.
Yeah.
he's a cool figure. But man, I just don't have anywhere to put him.
Did you see the Jada Toys Chester Cheetah? You gonna pick that one?
that? I have to get. I was so into that character when I was like 10 years old.
Nice.
Someone's got to do the was the 7-Up spot.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a
yeah.
fun toy. Or fun character. There's a Nintendo game for that too.
Mm-hmm.
Was there
I
really?
used to play that.
Oh, I
Um,
remember that. Yeah.
I think there's a Sega version too because I had the Sega version or I rented it or something.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, when he was a kid, like his character that he had to have with him everywhere was his little Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us.
Mhm.
Oh
He
yeah.
had to have that thing all the time.
I just read Joe's comment. I got 2 Vargs in the in stock sale.
So did I.
Yeah, I did not participate in the in stock sale.
I
You said
didn't
you
either.
It
Yeah.
was it was like day 3, and I was like, all right, fine, I'm just gonna buy 2 of them.
Mhm.
You say you did get something, Sean?
Well, I got 2 Vargs, just like David, ironically. And then I ended up doing a little bit of fun with them over here. Nothing too crazy, but
Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, you've been talking about this for a while.
That's awesome.
I didn't want to go full Death Dealer. I just love the idea of him being like along the lines of it. So I did this, and then out of the blue, I got an email the other day, and this bad boy showed up on my doorstep the other day.
Nice.
Awesome.
You've been waiting for that for a bit now.
Yeah, so and I got an email actually yesterday saying that Anti-Eternia He-Man's going to be on the way too.
Nice. That was an exclusive, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a timed exclusive. So
Gotcha.
which shocked the heck out of me that I actually managed to get that one. So
Nice.
yeah, it's nice to have things finally. It's like these pre-order things are finally paying off. It's amazing.
Yeah, you get things showing up.
Yeah, getting on that pre-order train.
Yeah. Once you get on it, it's a great place to be. So
Looks
What do
like
we got
Trevor
here?
got something. You got a Brad Jones there?
Got Arnold. I got Brad Jones.
That's a really nice sculpt. Is that a
Yeah, that's a
what's that?
really cool.
It's actually really not a great sculpt if you take I won't take the glasses off, but it's not a great sculpt with the glasses off, honestly.
Hmm.
But this is all like a third party knockoff. Like the Hot Toys one is like really expensive now. So but
Oh,
it's all real leather, which is kind of cool.
Whoa.
I mean, there's some issues with it. Oh, there you go. Now you can see how not great a sculpt this is.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. But with the I'd keep the glasses on anyway. Most likely.
Yeah, isn't he called like Future Cop or something like that, or like
Yeah, it's like future warrior.
Isn't that a
or
Jackie
something
Chan
like
or
movie?
that.
yeah.
Kindergarten Cop.
The third party
Van
names are the
Damme
best
movie.
thing in the world, man.
Dude,
my
Oh, they're
favorite.
hilarious.
Oh, that was
I
Time
was-
Cop was Van Damme movie.
Guy on the train.
Yeah.
Like the best is the Willem Dafoe, the Green Goblin. They called him Dafoe
Yeah.
Duh. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
or the Foe. I don't know.
Oh.
It was the Foe or Dafoe. It was fantastic.
Not the hero. He's the foe.
No, Dafoe.
Well, it's hey, there's low hanging fruit. Let's jump on it. Like, geez.
Jesse, you got anything new this week?
I got a new bin for $5 at Ross
Nice.
Perfect.
for my unpainted third party 3D printed stuff. So because I was just keeping like in like 2 like of the plastic Mythic boxes. They were all just like rooting through. I'm like, man, I'm gonna break this stuff. So
Yeah.
I stopped into Ross because I got some new paintbrushes from Amazon. And I had it delivered there to the little lockers at Ross, and I went in and I found this like $5 holder thing. So yeah, super exciting.
Very. Looks like Trevor's got something
Look at
else.
this chunky bad boy.
Yeah, I'm
Sweet.
stoked to handle that.
Oh man, that's way bigger
so
than I
cool.
thought.
Yeah, he's huge.
He looks
man.
so
It's
good,
a
too.
big chunk of plastic, and it's heavy too, man.
Is that like
These are great.
what would that compare to like Mythic wise? Is that like ogre scaled or is it smaller?
It's about ogre. I would say it's about ogre scale. I mean, standing up, if he was standing up straight, he's going to be a little bit
I
shorter.
mean,
than an
obviously
ogre.
he's chunkier sideways.
Probably more like what's the middle one? The new
Brute scale.
brute scale. He's probably more like brute scale.
So like brute scale height, but like
yeah,
a
but
meatball-like
but
slug.
shoulder wise, he's
Yeah.
ogre. Yeah, he's ogre scale. Like his upper body would be ogre scale if he had normal legs. Obviously, his legs are tiny.
That pauldron's huge, man. That's crazy.
No, it's massive.
Yeah. Nice. I only have one thing that I opened this week, which is just the Marvel Legends Captain America.
It's that
Ultimate
classic Captain America, man.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have the little wing things on his helmet, but
That's
other than that,
ultimate.
Like ultimate, yeah.
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 but it, for $25, it's I like it. It's pretty good figure. And I found it in the wild, which is the first time I've gotten anything in the wild in a really long time. So, almost all my purchases are online anymore. So actually finding something in a toy store that I was willing to purchase was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
rare.
yeah.
I've actually I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom like nonstop since I got that.
I've heard that from a lot of people.
Mhm.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's great. It's exactly what everybody else says, But that's kind of taken up all my toy time.
I know. I got to find time to play video games, man.
My Tears of the Kingdom came from watching the finale of Ted Lasso this week.
Yeah.
Oh, does anybody watch Barry?
Yes.
No, I
I am
started
not all the way caught up. I got a few more episodes to watch, but
cool. Yeah,
from
that
this season.
ended this last Sunday. It was heavy, man. It's good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. Speaking of Ted Lasso, we'll be doing a show on Sunday with the Euro Legions guys. Me, Jesse, and Sean, and the Euro Legions guys, and we'll have a good talk about that. So looking forward.
And that
to
is on the Just Shelve It channel. Yep. Just so that's
is that going to be all Ted Lasso talk, or are you going to be talking about other things?
I mean, I'm sure we'll
all
have some Legions talking, but yeah, it's mainly going to be Ted Lasso.
Okay.
And we might talk about music to irritate Curtis.
That's Apple TV, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
all 3 seasons are out. So I mean, Apple TV's like $6 or $7 a month. So if you could probably burn through that series in a month.
There's Severance on there is fantastic, man.
Severance is good. C is really good.
Shrinking is good.
Yeah, I heard Shrinking is good. I got to watch that. Yeah.
For the money, you get a lot of good stuff in there.
It's not as much as other streamers do, but like it's all really quality stuff. It might not be your flavor, but all of it's really solidly made.
And you could get in, like Jesse said, binge it all, and then cancel your subscription. So, but I would highly recommend it even if it was just for Ted Lasso. Like that show. Well, I don't want to get too much into it because we're going to talk about it on Sunday, but it's one of the best shows that I've ever seen. So
my wife and I watched the first 3 episodes, and we both looked at each other going, I don't get
keep
this.
going. Keep going. Like you're right there.
The third episode
because it did
is
nothing
like a
for me. It was like I was like, nah, we gave up on it.
Well, Ted Lasso is one of those shows. Like I was talking to my wife about this because she's trying to get through season 3. I binged it all the week before this because I knew we were doing our talk on Sunday. And the thing about the show in general, and what's funny is the Cabal is always spoken of in this way too, the positivity. There's this wanting to be a better person and help others and make the other people feel like they're doing better with their lives and becoming better and supporting that. And that's a huge part of why I love that show. So like you get 3 in, you're on the episode where he's talking to Trent Krim, and he's the one following him around, the reporter. And he has the Indian food with him, and then he ate a whole bunch of Indian food just so that he could be nice to somebody, even though it destroyed his intestines and all that stuff. And it's like that, you're at the very tip of what this show really is, because I love that it exposes Ted as it's not a joke. He's not doing this for any other reason than that's who he is. And then that's infectious to everyone else on the show as it goes on. But not in a Pollyanna kind of way where you're rolling your eyes.
Here's what I would say.
Well, that's what I was afraid of, but it doesn't. It wasn't funny. Like I don't know. Like I'm not like laughing at this. Like I don't know.
It's not like a straight up comedy. Like there's a lot of like serious stuff in it, intermixed with I think really good humor. Like you'll be laughing your head off 1 second, and the next minute like feel like you just got your gut ripped out.
All right, I got to give it another try, man, because I don't know. I can't listen to everybody talk about this, and
don't go into it.
When I started watching it,
that's not what it is.
All right.
it was like it was on like episode 4, maybe 4 or 6. So I only had a couple episodes because when it was first coming out, someone talked it up to me, so I checked it out. Like you're right at that like hook point. Like I was interested, but within the next episode or two, like it really gets into I think what really hooked me for it. So
And listen, if you made it through Andor, you can get a couple more episodes of this thing. You know? So I'm just saying, you're used to slow rolling shows. It takes a little bit to build up speed. So, you know,
all right, I'll give you that. Did you watch all of Andor?
I did, and I actually enjoyed it. I just think they could have shortened it by about 2 or 3 episodes. So
Anybody watch Mrs. Davis? Have you seen that?
I have not.
It's on Peacock, but like it's great, man. Talk about like good, like weird, like it's sci-fi in a way, but it's kind of like contemporary life sci-fi. It's that, and I can't wait for Black Mirror to come back too.
I went back and I've never watched X-Files, and I'm watching that on Peacock right now. So
that's a fun rewatch.
Yeah, I'm like on season 3, and I've never seen it before, so it's like all new to me. And then
it's great.
Well, then
it's
I was
great
like
to watch that.
Like, you got to like watch like so many seasons, and then the movie, and then watch so many other seasons, and then there's another movie, and like
you can skip the second movie.
Okay, that's good to know.
There's things in that like they never quite pay off, and I don't know. It's good, and then it kind of, I don't know. I felt like it kind of lost its way for a while.
It kind of gives me a similar vibe to like early Supernatural, where it's kind of like a monster of the week kind of thing. So
it is, but there are threads running through it too that continue.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
What was that? What was that show on?
When does the
Netflix
new Black Mirror come out? Is that soon?
Soon, yeah. This month, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah. What was did anybody see?
They're kind of creepy. I mean, they're cool, but it's like
they're really,
it's like
they're really like hard hitting because like this is like life, man. The whole thing. The one, I don't know if you saw it, like the one where everybody has to go around and like swipe. Like every interaction with you, like and if somebody like you think she gets a cup of coffee and she doesn't like smile at the woman, she gives her like 2 or something like that. And then you can't buy a house or you can't get an apartment because that's your currency, is your likability on social media. It's crazy, man.
There's an episode of Orville kind of like that too.
Yeah, I remember that episode. That was a great episode, man.
Yeah.
Really a good episode.
Kevin, you're asking about sci-fi shows on Apple TV. Invasion was pretty cool. Curtis would probably hate it. It's pretty slow. It is like an invasion of Earth, but it's a lot just from like the regular people interacting with this like kind of War of the Worlds where no one really knows what's going on. But I really enjoyed that.
I liked C on Apple TV, which is like a post-apocalyptic show. That one's really good.
What's his name?
Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
Momoa, yeah.
Yeah, he's really good in that. So, yep.
What was that? Did you see the? What was the name of it? It's one word. Glenn from The Walking Dead, and they get into this road rage thing.
It's that.
Beef.
One. Yes.
Beef is what it's called.
Oh my god, that was so.
I haven't watched that yet. Is it awesome?
Yeah, it's. I like these things that like make me like cringe, man. You know what I mean? Like I like things that like make me want to curl up in a ball and go, "Oh God, I can't believe." Because I don't know. It's like I feel like at least it didn't happen to me, man. You know what I mean? This sucks for you, but
I do like you, Joe. Don't worry about it. I like you. Yeah, I just want there to be like a Black Mirror episode where there's like a photographer for like this toy line, and then he starts using AI backgrounds, and next thing you know, like AI takes over everything that he does, and
that'd be great. That's a great plot. Should submit that one.
When you said that AI on some of that. I was like, Trevor Williams. I can't believe it.
No. I don't like it for what it. I mean, here's the thing. We're gonna get. I don't want to get into a big discussion about this, but I might do a show on this with some toy photographers because I did actually try this. So, you just get on Midjourney and like, I don't like the implications of it, but it's there, and unless the government is going to regulate in some way, it's there. You know what I mean? So, like, what I'm doing is creating like backgrounds that I would use stock photography for. Yes, now somebody gets paid for stock photography, but I'm paying for it regardless of whether they get paid or not. You know what I mean? I'm already paying for the service. I wanted to try it out, but I actually put in a prompt one the other day. Batman action figure with visible joints, looking over a city, standing. And I'll tell you, I won't show it to you right now, but the images that it created, not great toy photography, but like if there was somebody who was moderately good or starting out, like you'd look at it and go, that's a pretty good shot. And it looked like a freaking toy. I mean, like it had a cape that was like, looked like it was made of plastic. You know what I mean? It didn't. Yeah. It looked like a toy. It had some joints here and there. You know, they'd always make some mistakes, but
sure.
I was like, damn, man. Like, wow. Like, I mean, if you can start to program stuff in that you want exactly, like take this image of this action figure that we did in 3D and put it into some environment and make it and light it this way and shoot it with a Nikon, 40 millimeter lens at, f13,
did you you see the like video stuff that Emil did with it? With like,
yeah, that's Photoshop. And I've played with the Photoshop one. It's really limited. Like I was going to put some bats in the background of one of these shots, and I said I circled the area of the background that I wanted, and like I said, bats flying in the distance, and it put this giant like goofy looking cartoon bat up there, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't really work very well. So it's in its infancy on Photoshop, but some cool stuff. Man.
His troll with the backpack and the button-up shirt, I was like, man, I really need a button-up shirt and a backpack for a troll now.
I like Hey-Man today. The Hey-Man was fun to see.
Yeah, the movie Hey-Man coming soon.
Hey, man.
Oh, Neil. Love it.
All Guy right. Never stops. Never stops.
What else, guys? Jesse, I missed you.
Me to go to bed.
You know I missed you, Jesse.
I know.
You got anything for us? Any words of wisdom, Jesse? Any exciting topics of discussion?
Never rub another man's rhubarb.
Batman?
Yeah.
89? Yeah.
I mean,
ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight?
Yeah. Depends what song is playing.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. All right. Well, I think that's a show, guys.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate everybody being on. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for everybody that joined after the reveal tonight. It was an amazing wave. Appreciate everybody that showed up. Once again, please hit that subscribe button. We do have a show next Friday. We're going to be doing top 10 action features or gimmicks in a toy, cool. as well as a movie review of Shazam! Fury of the Gods. So should be another fun one next Friday. And this weekend, we got a couple different things going on Just Shelve It channel. I will turn it over to Jesse. Jesse, what we got going on Sunday?
Oh, hey. Well, Sunday, we've got an incredible review show of the television series Ted Lasso with Sean and Curtis and myself and the three hosts of Euro Legions podcast, Rich, John, and Malcolm, joining us to talk all things Ted Lasso Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then
otherwise known as John Malcolm Rich.
There you
go.
Ooh,
that's fantastic.
I didn't come up with that. It wasn't me.
That's pretty good, though.
And then let's see, was it 6 hours later, we will be hosting the one and only Trevor Williams on Shooting the Shelf for our regular scheduled program.
Otherwise known as my grilling.
I think it's more
From-
my grilling.
not from
Oh,
me.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
because
I don't
you
grill.
and Jesse agree on more things than I do. So.
Yeah, we could turn the tables on you, man.
Yeah, you guys will.
I-
you
Bad
can
night
bore
for
me
you.
to death.
It's at most it's going to be like a toaster or a microwave from me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Nice.
I'm
Sean,
bringing the
you got
barbecue
anything,
sauce.
anything else to plug? Sean, you got anything
Nope.
else to plug? No.
Nope. Those are the main things for me. I can't think of. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
All right, David, you got anything?
I just sent Lynn a huge box of painted and unpainted Wolf King parts
Nice.
that he'll put into the shop eventually. I know with like pre-orders coming up and all that stuff, he'll release it strategically. But I painted a ton of stuff in the last few weeks, so
That's cool.
Are these
That'll be
things with
available
names
soon.
that you've given him, or is he just making up his random names now for stuff still?
no, these are all pre-existing sculpts. Like,
Okay,
he just had me paint some stuff, and
Okay.
some of them I'm really happy with. I'm actually really stoked to have gotten to paint them, and then I think that they'll go pretty quick.
Awesome.
So,
And Trevor, what you got going on?
What do I got going on? Next week I'm off until Friday. Then we have the 1/6 back. But I've been doing these early morning, like 10:30, 11 o'clock little news bites. So I might do one Monday, just to talk about this stuff that came out, mainly Mythic stuff. And then a week from Monday is our 50th episode of the Legions Lounge. So
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Congrats.
hopefully some special guests on for that. Working on it right now. So let's see.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Well, I will play the awesome intro for us again, and we'll close out the show. But
Did you play the intro at the end?
because we got to hear it all the time,
it's a
I'm-
really good
outro.
intro.
it's a really good intro / outro. You're lucky I didn't play it in the middle of the episode. I like it that much. So here's the intro
Okay, Chris.
before we leave you. Bye, guys.
Laredo, take us out. Take her out.
Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Geek out with us live where the nerdiness will thrive. Buckle up and let's go off-world. Toys, comics, pop culture news, movies and so much more. Matthew, Jesse, Curtis and Sean are your guides on this fun-filled tour. Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go off-world.